Hey everyone, it's me Doomlink, and welcome back to Hunting with Purpose. More of the same, but I'd like to think that it's good, in the sense that it's not more of the same, and as a result it's somewhat repetitive. I'd like to think that it's rather more of something very good, and personally, I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of 3 Ultimate these days, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be recording so much of it. I'm really throwing myself headfirst into working on this character. And I'm getting, obviously, a lot of enjoyment out of it, which is why I'm recording the hell out of it. Which was basically that was like an art. That's like reiteration in an art form, as far as repetition is concerned. But anyway, that's my idea of an intro, apparently. Let me get my chats organized as I always do. And then we will be good to go. I should be playing with Vernon again as usual. I was, for those of you who are on my Discord, and are wondering why, I said I was going to be going live with Ethan in Generations Ultimate, and then I ultimately didn't. Haha. Is because we had some technical difficulties. First and foremost, I wasn't aware that Ethan was going to be calling me on his phone or headset or whatever the fuck from a lounge, and that his audio was going to be horrendous, and then on top of that, it turns out that the in-ear monitors that I usually use to listen to him while I'm playing just don't work at the moment. I need to replace the cable for it. So it was like a double failure on that part, so that was not happening. But Ethan, Vernon, and I went and played some Generations Ultimate anyway, and we also did 2 attempts at Magna Malo in the Monster Hunter Rise demo. So, unsuccessfully, but there you go. Hello Vernon, good to see you in the chat. Although we were just talking. I'm sorry for bumping the mic there. Yesterday, I actually did some work in the offline here in game, and it was really quite pleasant because I'm so used to doing quests and, well, not so much quests, but especially things like free hunt in Moga Woods at low rank level, because that's how it was in Tri. But here in this game, if you are at high rank level when it comes to the village quests, in turn, Moga Free Hunt is actually high rank as well, but I'm starting to wonder if it's exclusively nighttime. So as I understand it, I'll show you this here. If you go to Exit to Moga Woods, you're given the option to go there at night or by day. Now I believe that is actually going to change the rank. I believe daytime is low rank and nighttime is high rank, I think. Yeah, and Vernon just confirmed that. So, I didn't know that at first. I had to work that out myself, and the way that I worked that out was by looking at the forecast. The Moga forecast specifically says for nighttime, and I thought, well, what happens if I go there during the day? And I found out that they are different monsters. It looks more along the lines of what you would encounter during Tri. I believe in Tri, the only monsters that you could fight in the Moga Woods were Great Jaggy, Kurapeko, Royal Ludroth, and Raytheon. Maybe not even Raytheon, but I think Raytheon was in there too. But in this game you can hunt an incredible number of monsters. You can hunt Zinogre. I think almost all monsters appear in Moga Free Hunt here in this game, so it's really cool. And I have been needing to actually acquire rare, I guess rare commodities from Free Hunt so that I could trade for different things. At the moment I'm working on getting Arshan Greaves, which requires long fragments from the boat. And you need to, first and foremost, have all boats fully upgraded, and then you have to hope that they can go to the rare location. And even if they do go to the rare location, it ends up being a pretty low percentage of a chance that you'll get one of several long fragments that you require for the Arshan Greaves. This is why, after all this time, I've been trying to avoid making Arshan armor pieces. Hello, Takashi, welcome back. But yeah, the reason why I've been avoiding that for so long is because it is an absolute nightmare to try and get the Arshan armor pieces in this game. In Portable 3rd, my god, not a problem at all. But in this game, it's not pleasant. But unfortunately, I have reached the point where I am basically required to get at least one piece of the Arshan set to make my Lance/Gunlance Awaken armor set. So it's kind of unfortunate, but it's the way it has to be. I don't think I'll be getting this armor set for a little while. I do very much enjoy the at sea thing that they've got on the screen there. That's kind of cool. Oh, one thing to take note of is that one thing for me to fix is that I need to change my cropping. My cropping is actually set for Generations Ultimate. Check this out. Look at that. All of a sudden the game expands. You don't need a crop here because it's the perfect aspect ratio. The aspect ratio for Switch is slightly different. It's not actually 16:9, so it needs to be cropped a little bit. At least I don't think it's 16:9. It seems to be slightly different to that. I'm going to check my haul box here. Then I'm going to send my boats out, because I believe that's a requirement as far as eventually getting access to rare locations. I don't think they just appear unless you've got your boat cycling through. In other words, it's kind of like food, you know. Or maybe that's not even a good comparison. I don't know. Also, hello Ethan in the chat. Don't really want a fish finder for that. I do need to get some, whatever they're called, power paddles. I don't want to use a perfect paddle or whatever it's called. Yeah, perfect paddle is a bit overkill. I will save that for a rainy day, as they say. But, yeah. Let's go and head online, shall we? I don't actually know what I'm going to do. I will update you guys as far as what I've made off camera. I think I made 2 weapons or something off camera, and I upgraded some as well. Upgraded in the sense that I haven't actually made the fully upgraded weapon, but I've actually gone most of the way to making it, so there you go. No, Ethan is... Well, yeah, Ethan, do you want to be in the Twitch chat or in the YouTube chat? I don't know, he can do what he wants. He does what he wants. But, yeah, have you made a room? No, you haven't. Let's see what we have on offer. We have this guy. Let's see, you know what, I'm just going to test him. You don't have to join this room, at least not yet, Vernon. I'm going to see if this guy still holds a grudge over me leaving his 4-point formation room like 3 or 4 days ago. Let's see if he's still holding the grudge. I'm interested to see. You still upset? Let's see if he kicks me. If so, then he must be well and truly offended. In the meantime, I'm going to go and get my keyboard because it's well out of reach. Here's another test. Is he still doing 4-point formation? He's not! Holy shit. Well, I'm not going to join him anyway. God, he's gonna hate me. He's gonna hate me so much. Oh, man. He's going to be the angriest Spanish man in the history of the world. Oh, I always feed that the wrong way. Sorry, these are the sorts of things that I should do before going live, but if you don't have a checklist, you'll always forget to do certain things. It's just the way it is. You let your friend borrow your Wii U? Fuck. Well, I understand. Maybe you weren't considering using it. A lot of people really just sold their Wii U's. It's kind of a shame. I somewhat understand why, but there are certain games that you can play on it that you can't play on a Switch. For example, you've got... Sorry about the chair. The chair is my guest. Usually he doesn't interrupt me while I'm talking, but this time he's decided to be a little rude. But, yeah, there are certain games that you can play on the Wii U that you can't play elsewhere. Like, for example, the Zelda remakes. Or remasters, I should say. But, anyway. Just gonna pause that Twitch playback, because it's pissing me off. Just seeing that thing moving in the background. Hello, spaceman. Hola. Alright. It may be necessary to make a room, Vernon, if you haven't already made one. You made one? Okay. G8+. That's the way we want to name it. I have learnt from my mistake. We don't want to call it G-rank because then we'll get a bunch of... Well, the question becomes, why would... Here's the problem. Vernon, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to host the room. Because if we name it that, it competes with the other guy's room, which is literally the same as G8+. But he's hunt rank 485 and you're hunt rank 29, so if we're going to compete, it has to at least be with me hosting the room, so I'll call it G8+. target any, and we'll do it that way. We could call it relaxed hunting. Because that's what we're doing, isn't it? Oh, your save data's on your 3DS. At least you've got access to the character. As I've said, I do plan to, at some point, transfer this save over to my 3DS, and then dump my 3DS save file and all my 3DS game files onto PC, so that I can emulate that and play with people online on PC. But I don't plan to do that until such time that this community well and truly dies, or the servers shut down. It's very interesting because no one really knew whether or not these servers were going to shut down. I remember, I think the first year when people were really expecting the servers to shut down was around 2017. People were like, this is it guys, it's going to shut down soon. And I'm like, oh shit, well it's had a good run. This is back in 2017, I'm like, it's had a good run. It's alright, okay, I'll live with that. And then 2018, 2019, 2020. I mean, certainly 2018 was almost guaranteed. We were like, okay, World's coming out, it must be closing this time. No, it didn't. And then, again, 2019 rolled on, 2020. Here we are in 2021, the servers are still up. So I think they're just going to be up forever, which is great. I'm really happy to hear that. Happy to see that. I'm not sure what's on the agenda tonight, Rivian. I'm just hunting whatever Vernon wants to do. I'm gonna move my port over here, somewhere slightly more in reach, as long as it's not casting a shadow. Oh goodness. But yeah. Oh, that's right. So we need Goebel and Zinogre, and you need one part of each. You know what I actually need? I need Stygian Zinogre. I need a Stygian Zinogre Skymerald. Probably 2 or 3 even. Because for some reason, a lot of the Stygian Zinogre weapons in this game are actually Awaken. And the reason why is because they end up being considerably better functionally than the Elatrion weapons. Which was very interesting to see, but it turns out that they are generally better. At least in 4 Ultimate, it's very rare that you will find an Awaken loadout being better than a non-Awaken loadout, but in this game, actually it's well balanced. And I can't remember how it was in Tri, it might have been the same in Tri, maybe 3rd generation Awaken was just better. In the sense that for certain elements, for certain weapon types, you're better off going Awaken than non-Awaken. Which is good actually, because what that does is incentivizes and legitimizes Awaken as a system. We're not doing Descent into Hades, we're not doing that. Although I would like to, that actually is on my agenda because I would like to make this. The Anima Reaper. As you can see, I've only done Descent into Hades twice. As such, I have 2 Hades Skull. And this is a very good... Well, it's actually not that great, is it? It doesn't even have purple sharpness, but I don't think my other one has purple either. My other weapon. But ultimately, look at this fucking design. This is a beautiful weapon, and I would love this. Descent into Hades is a rough time, but it's doable. It's like 20 minutes of just straight focus and difficulty and playing as well as you can. You need a good 4-man team for that. And when the opportunity arises, I will do it, but for now, I'm going to leave it alone. Can't believe I still need to do 3 to get the Anima Reaper. But can you get Zinogre Hardhorn from Stygian? I don't think so, because I think... Zinogre Hardhorn is a different colour, and I have never received anything from Stygian that wasn't a grey colour. So there's no way you can get regular Zinogre Hardhorns, and on top of that I'm pretty sure Stygian has his own Hardhorn. Anyway, the weapons that I've made so far... I made the Chak, if you remember that from Tri. I should have it. Where is it? I think I made this as well. Master Odyssey. I made this. This is an Awakened Water Sword and Shield. Wasn't always Awakened. Started off as a regular Water Sword and Shield back in 1st generation. And then it eventually became an Awakened weapon here in 3rd gen. May have even stayed an awakened weapon through 4 and 4 Ultimate. But then I think I made another sword and shield. Oh no, excuse me, I made the Chak, which is this. It's called the Gimbal Gaia in this game. It went from the Chak to the Wagga Wagga, and was called Wagga Wagga in Tri. And then in this game they call it the Gimbal Gaia. And it's a very cool weapon. You can actually get this same design in 4 Ultimate as a relic weapon. And I actually have a sword and shield in 4 Ultimate with this design. You can see that it's a pretty reasonable lightning awakened sword and shield, and I regret to say, as I've said, I believe in my previous recording and maybe the one before it, it's kind of difficult to get thunder awakened weapons in this game. Most of them, well, for most weapon types, thunder awakened doesn't exist. But it does for sword and shield at least, and I'm glad that I've got that. You can imagine that the stats of this weapon suffer a little bit on account of the fact that it's triple slot, but outside of that, it's a pretty decent weapon. And I do plan to use that at the earliest convenience when I am fighting a monster in the future. Your hunter rank 103? That's nothing to sneeze at. Or snort at? Sniff at? Is it sneeze, snort, or sniff? Probably all three. But it's nothing to take lightly, Takashi, because it takes more time to hunter rank up in this game than in almost any other. Well, I guess Tri and this game were the ones that were hardest to hunter rank up in, and Vernon's probably seeing that now, because he's still probably in the 20s for his hunter rank. He's slowly going up, but it's nothing compared to, say, 4 Ultimate and Generations Ultimate, so... yeah, 103 is probably equivalent to, what, 250, 300 in Generations Ultimate. You've always been a non-meta hunter in the sense that you refused to use mix sets until transmog became a thing. I've never really considered myself to be a meta hunter either, but I've always viewed mix sets as something worthwhile doing. But I understand it might be a bit too much effort. So what were we starting with, Vernon? Were we starting with Goebel? If so, then I guess I can use this right here. I think you did post and I might have even seen what you put on the board, but... yeah, this is something we can probably do, man. If it's Goebel, he's a tier 1 G rank, so I think we'll be alright. I'd rather not fight him underwater with a fucking sword and shield, but I'd like to demonstrate this weapon, showcase it, because I do like it. You can't stand the aesthetic of mixed sets, that's fair. I haven't played Counter-Strike Global Offensive. If I were to play a Counter-Strike game, it would be an older one. Because Global Offensive really is just... it's like a 90s FPS, but what I've never understood about Counter-Strike is that so many people are willing to play it in this day and age. And to my understanding, you can't even ADS in that game, which is so 90s, like... that's one thing about 90s FPS games that fucking sucks and doesn't age well. It's the fact you can't even ADS. So in other words, I'd rather play an even older one than that. If I'm going to play a 90s FPS, I'll play an actual legitimate 90s FPS, thank you very much. But, no, I've never even touched it, never played it, and I don't really have much of an interest. And I would certainly never record it. If I would do it, it would be on the Doomlink FPS channel, but that's kind of a dead channel at the moment because... oh, that's a long story. Long story. Global Offensive has a lot of depth. Okay. If you say so. But yeah, I have determined that Goebel always starts in Area 3 in G rank, which is, it does make sense because it makes it so that you can't fish him out and get free hits on him. I understand that. But the problem is that it's very murky here and it's difficult to see him. Is this him? No. What? He starts... what? He's there. Maybe you can catch him there early on and then he moves to 3. That's interesting. Well, I'm glad we can fight him on land to start with. That's really what it comes down to. Even if we can't fish him out, at least we can fight him on land, and... ugh, he's buried under the under the sand, or the mud, we will call it, not sand. But yeah, here I am using this weapon for the first time since Try. I only used it in Try for fun. I think it was Thunder Awaken in Try as well, but... And I think I only used it as an Awaken weapon in Try. It wasn't worth using as a raw weapon. But, yeah, it was not the best weapon in Try, to be honest, but I used it for fun, and here I am using it again for the same reason. It's not an amazing weapon. You compare this to a nether weapon, and it really doesn't compare at all, but it is fun to use, because it's a unique design, and it's just something a little different. So I like it. I like it a lot. Port wine. Takashi. I do prefer spirits, but I don't have too much disposable income at the moment. Oh. Damn. Yeah, the reason why my streams are set to mature is that, strictly speaking, if you consume alcohol on camera, you have to be... It has to be like R18, so... And that's the reason why streams are set to mature. And I somewhat agree with that. I've never advocated for underage drinking. Not just because it's the politically correct thing to do, but because I actually don't think people should drink underage. It's not a good idea. So there you go. But of course, as the internet works, no person under 18 is going to shy away from a live stream because it says that it's for mature audiences only. No. No minor would. I didn't when I was a kid. Why would I? Websites just do it to cover their ass. And I guess to an extent I can cover my own ass as well. Yeah, it is 21 in the US, that's true. Honestly, for brain development, even better at 21. Oh, not good. It's a bad spot to get stunned. I'll tell you what, if I, ask and you shall receive. I was talking about not having hunted Goble recently, when I was first playing with Vernon, and then here we are, hunting so much Goble. And it's a good thing, I enjoy hunting him. No, don't go underwater. I do not like fighting him underwater. Especially not with a sword and shield, but here I am. You'd forgotten Goble even existed. It's easy to forget. But it's good because he's an exclusive monster of Try and Free Ultimate. So it's really worth coming back and playing the older games when you've got monsters that you can only fight here. Instead of just fighting the same monsters for every generation of Monster Hunter. That's the way I look at it. God, Sword and Shield feels awful underwater. But I was desperate to use this thing. Dearie me. Hello, Leo. I think he's one of those people who leaves the port when they realize there's people in a quest. What did it say in Try when people joined? Did it say X person visited the tavern or visited the... What did it say? Because it wouldn't have said port. I just realized that. It doesn't surprise me to see Great Froggy, or, well, Dos Froggy and / Great Roggy returning to Rise, because he was a portable third monster, so... a lot of the portable third monsters are coming back in Rise, just because Rise is effectively the portable third of 5th generation. In the same way that World was the Try of 5th. But Try ended up working out much better. Well, I've actually come to realise, Spaceman, that Gunlance is pretty decent underwater. I wasn't expecting that, but it's actually good. Getting really sick of bouncing off this guy. Need to aim for his face or his lantern or something. At least Vernon's doing damage, fucking hell. Well, we don't know if Dobo's not coming back. Has there been full confirmation of all monsters? Because I feel like he has to come back. I mean, I guess not all monsters have to come back. Dobo de Beruku. Duramboros for the uninitiated. It was no surprise to see Amatsu Magatsuchi coming back, because he was an absolute staple of Portable Third. He was one of the big, well, he served as a great incentive for people to actually play Portable Third at the time. Or she. I think it's a female monster, I don't know. Maybe, may not be. I've never understood the lore of that. At least we're back on land, and I can actually do some damage. I'm assuming you still need the tail, so I'll cut it. Even if you don't need the tail, I might in the future, you never know, so it's good to cut it. How did that still affect me? What the fuck? That's awful. Yeah, the only game where you can actually use Gunlance underwater, obviously, is this one, and I hadn't really tried it up until very recently, and it turns out to be about the same as Lance, but even better because you've got more mobility tech. It's about the same, you know, just as directional, but you can do even more with it, obviously, and it's actually got better mobility, so yeah. I love how he flops around here. When he moves forwards, he just sort of flops. Because he's a fucking fish, you know. Oh. Well, you could have at least said hello, shut-ins dogs. Honestly. You're welcome to eat burgers, but let me know you're eating a burger so that I can promptly, I don't know, covet your burger. Because if there's one thing that you need to understand about me, I always stream on an empty stomach. Why do I do that? I don't know. Because I'm disorganized. I would have streamed much earlier today, but or would have begun much earlier today. So as a result, I'm probably going to go for a little bit less. Probably only 2.5 hours or something. We'll see, but yeah, I was a bit held up by Ethan wanting to play Generations Ultimate, and I would have just foregone 3 Ultimate today, but that didn't work out. So I just played about an hour and a half or so with Ethan and Vernon, actually, and then jumped on 3 Ultimate. No, I think it was leaked that Amatsu Magatsuchi was coming. For instance, long before World even came out, it was basically confirmed that Kulv Taroth was coming, it was confirmed that Elatrion was coming, all those monsters were confirmed. So, leaks, in my opinion, are worth taking on board as almost fact when it comes to Monster Hunter games. No, they haven't shown Amatsu in any cinematics or anything like that, but I think it's basically confirmed that he's returning, and as far as I'm concerned, given that Rise is really intending on harkening back to Portable Third in a big way, I think there is no way Amatsu will not return. I don't think it will just be an Amatsu-esque monster, I think it will be the monster. So, yeah. Where the hell did those PLs go? I know I made an extra stack of those unintentionally, and that's why I'm looking to sell them. What have we got? Google PL, where are you? There we are. Get out of here. Get out of my box. I need my slots. I actually don't seek out leaks, they find their way to me. I actually don't care enough about Rise to fill my little mind with all information I can possibly acquire about it. What have we got? Hunting the hunter? Oh yeah, that's right, you needed one more thing. Did you get what you needed from Gurgle, Vernon? I do hope so. Because I think I've had my fun with Gurgle at this point. Oh yeah, I also started upgrading this. This is almost functional, like I could probably almost use this. But it's the sharpness is a bit terrible, isn't it? But one more upgrade for this and then I will have my Awakened Water Greatsword. I think I started also leveling up a Stygian Zinogre Sword and Shield, which is this here. That's actually pretty usable. And that should give you an idea as to how good this actually gets. It absolutely shits on the Elatrion Sword and Shield, I'll tell you what. It's really good. But, yeah, let's look for an ice weapon. I'll just go. What should I do? Last time I went dual blades, so I guess this time I could go switch axe for a change. Switch axe. No, it's alright. I don't hate switch axe that much, I just can't use it too often. It's a bit like gun lance. I use switch axe and gun lance sparingly. And I didn't consider hammer because I hate hammering Zinogre because his head is too high up. In Portable Third you can actually upswing it, but I don't think you can in the other games. I don't know why. Maybe I just can't do it right. You're excited for Camellios to return? I'm not, he's a pretty shit Elder Dragon, personally. Or at least as far as I'm concerned, I mean to say. I don't know. I don't really like... The only Elder Dragon that I like from Monster Hunter 2 is Teostra. Kushala and Camellios are just... I don't like them at all. Kushala is fucking annoying, and Camellios is a nothing monster. At least as far as I'm concerned. I guess he's interesting, technically, but the novelty wears off pretty quickly. With Camellios, for me, anyway. I'm just not a big fan. I've made this point a lot, but not to my new viewers, but, yeah, I don't want old monsters to return. I can kind of concede that bringing back some Portable Third monsters makes sense for Rise, but I want new monsters, so that I can return to the old games and fight monsters that I can't fight in the new ones, to sort of give more value to the older games. But unfortunately people ask for old monsters to return, and Capcom likes that because they don't have to, you know, they've got a basis from which to work, they don't actually have to design a monster from scratch, and they like that. So, it's one of those things. Trying to cut that tail. All three are returning? Oh, fuck off. They usually do come in threes, and the reason why is because traditionally all of their armor sets were designed to counteract another. So, how did it work again? I think Camellios was a counter to Teostra, Teostra was a counter to Kushala, something like that. I can't remember now because I never used the armor sets in that way. That's how they traditionally were in Monster Hunter 2. But which was an interesting idea. But I never used the armors that way. I always, even back then, opted for mixed sets. It's the other way around? Okay. I really couldn't remember. But the point was that each of their armor sets is designed to counteract the other. It's sort of a triangular... Well, if you can imagine a triangular graph in your head, that's how it works. What is a triangular graph? I don't fucking know. But I'm imagining something like that. Oh dear, I'm bouncing off the end of the tail, regrettably. At least it's been cut. Why is this guy going dragon? Maybe dragon's the secondary weakness of Zinogre, it's possible. I'm actually somewhat interested to see what his weakness to dragon is, because for some monsters I only pay attention to their primary weakness and then I just forget their secondary. So maybe Zinogre is a little weak to dragon. I will double check that. Beautiful. Would like to break that back as well, but actually no, I don't need G-rank Zinogre stuff. I actually needed some high-rank Zinogre stuff, but G-rank not really. I don't really need much in G-rank because I mostly have hunted in G-rank. I think Valhazak was an interesting monster. Aren't they bringing Valhazak in Rise too? Either way, I remember my friend that I got into Monster Hunter. I had his first game be Generations Ultimate. I wasn't going to let him play World as his first Monster Hunter. Not on my fucking life. But he saw Valhazak. I don't know if it was through Rise or through World, but he was really impressed with how creepy it was as a monster. And I guess it's true, he is a very creepy monster, and I think he's interesting. He's very Fatalis inspired. In terms of his snap and drag and his general body design and all of that. Which, to be honest, would have just spoiled Fatalis a little bit for world players, because again he moves, in their mind, similarly to Valhazak. Which is, you know, the other way around in actual fact. Which reminds me of when World first came out and people were saying, Uragan's just a Radoban reskin. I think I had to like take a day off after that. I was so angry, I was like, okay. I just had to not speak to anyone for a while. Valstrax will be in Rise? Yeah. I heard something about Valhazak returning. I don't know. Well, yeah. I'd prefer not to talk about Rise and World while playing 3 Ultimate, but conversationally it often does go that way. Can't really control it. Can't really control it. Alright. Apparently I've got plenty of space for Hardhorns, so I'll take those, why not? I'm not looking forward to recording Rise because of the conversations that I'll be having to have with everyone. It'll be so tired and boring by the time, for me, by the time I'm having to talk about that, and I'll just be like, yeah, I don't like 5th gen because it simplifies the system. I'll be like half asleep trying to explain it. Anyway, it's just, I mean, Vernon knows. Basically everything I've said so far has almost been a complete rehash over everything I've said in the past. But that's kind of the way it goes. Okay, Vernon. Advocating for World. Very well. Admittedly, you have to respect Vernon. He's listened to me rant about World for like almost 2 years now, probably. And he's still he holds firm. He holds firm on his opinions, so I can respect that. You don't really have to tiptoe around the subject. I just prefer not to talk about it, really. But I can't control what the discussion's going to be at the end of the day, because sometimes it just goes that way. This Dunban guy is entering 350, but he's using a fairly standard loadout. I guess it's not a bad loadout, but I've never really used the Golden Raytheon set unless I really needed something from a monster, but he's just using it for everything, which is fine, I guess. Oh, we're doing another one. Oh, you didn't get any hard horns. That's a real shame. I'll go with a bowgun. I haven't been gunning very much. I think I must have been scared by the fact that I'm not used to the sensitivity of ADS. But here we go. Let's go Elemental Light Bowgun. Using the Diamond Crest again. The last time that I actually went Elemental Light Bowgun, I was using the same weapon. But whatever. Let me see if I have the double quest. I do not. Well, I would say that any person who would watch 3 Ultimate, regardless of the streamer, would definitely have an interest in the older games, because 3 Ultimate sadly has become one of the older games, but that's okay. 3 Ultimate I will be playing a lot of these days, but do expect, if you do stick around, to see Freedom Unite, Portable Third, being recorded on this channel. Because I enjoy those games, it's just I need specific lighting conditions to record on my PC. And those lighting conditions are not currently in effect. So, I'm recording console. And this is my choice. Wait. I do not have freeze shots. Let's actually make sure that I have my inventory organized for this hunt. That would be helpful. I don't actually have free shots. Remember sub shot? It's like pellet shot, but underwater. What a meme of a fucking shot type. It's probably not too bad, to be honest. I've never really looked into the damage of sub shot. It might be okay. I think more than anything it's just something you don't have to worry about terrible critical distance like you usually have to worry about with underwater shots. Alright, that should be good. Off we go. Yeah, I'm going through Freedom 1 at the moment as well. It's good fun. Not really. Actually, it's the opposite of good fun. But it's... I enjoy building a character in first generation Monster Hunter. And it really shows you where the series has gone. When you play Freedom 1, you just sort of sit back and laugh when you hear people complaining about second generation Monster Hunter, because second generation is so incredibly polished compared to first. It definitely puts things into perspective. I think I have a Evade Extender on this set, don't I? I do. And normally I don't bother with Evade Extender with Light Bowgun because I feel that it has sufficient mobility to not require Evade Extender. I always use Evade Extender with Heavy Bowgun, however. Oh, fuck off, will you? Well, I mentioned first gen, and then suddenly the Bullfanger have to be like, I remember first gen. I used to fuck everyone up. You dick. I'm gonna kill him. I think he's already dead. He totally is. Oh well. Hello, Keaton. Welcome. Do I have feline temper? No, I thought I had right-leaning deviation now. Huh. Well, I can say you're referring to my wine, Keaton, but I don't know what you're actually saying, because I don't speak your language. A question about my wine. Am I drinking wine? Yes. If that's the question, then the answer is yes. If that wasn't the question, then too bad. If anyone on Twitch wonders why I respond to people who don't seem to actually be in the chat, it's because I also have a YouTube chat. So, yeah. I do not stream to Twitch exclusively. You actually enjoyed Lao Shanlang? I don't know how you could. I was actually I've talked about this a few times, but Lao Shanlang being brought back in Generations Ultimate, I don't think he was brought back in Generations. He was brought back in the G-Rank game. I don't know how they could have possibly done that, because, I mean, if you have a list of monsters to bring back, why does Lao Shanlang enter your mind as a possible monster to bring back? Do the Japanese actually have some sort of sentimental, nostalgic attachment to Lao Shanlang? They must. But what really got me was that bringing Lao Shanlang back was actually an opportunity to have a decent hunt. For once, because if you think about it, throughout the whole of 1st and 2nd Gen, Lao Shanlang was a monster that you fought, who was just running away. He wasn't actually fighting you. Bringing Lao Shanlang back in 4th generation was an opportunity to have a Lao Shanlang fight where he was actually intending on hitting you. It would be great to see how Lao Shanlang could fight hunters, but they didn't do it. They just turned him into the same siege hunt. So they fucked it up, basically. I don't know if my suggestion there would have been more effort than they were willing to go to. I suppose that's exactly what it is, but I don't know. It was pretty disappointing. When I first thought of that, and you know, I'm not Capcom, I'm not a game designer, but every now and again I do come up with these ideas and I think, well, why didn't they think of that? And if they did think of it, then how could they have possibly settled for what they actually came out with? The return of Lao Shanlang, in my opinion, was a terrible idea, if they were going to do it exactly as it was done in the past. Because it doesn't belong in 4th generation Monster Hunter. It's one of those things that really should stay in 1st and 2nd generation, because it is kind of unpleasant. There's a lot of waiting around, and admittedly there's less waiting around. Almost no waiting around, I guess, technically, in Generations Ultimate when fighting Lao, but unfortunately it's still extremely repetitive, because it is still that siege hunt. And I think they could have really done something interesting with that. Shen Garden has never come back. He is exclusive, I believe, to Freedom Unite, except he may have returned in Frontier. That's possible. A lot of the monsters that we view to be exclusive to the classic generations of Monster Hunter actually did return in Frontier. There was even a subspecies of Yamatsukami in Frontier, possibly also in Monster Hunter Online. I know Yamatsukami was in Online, but I don't know if his subspecies was. I'm not sure if I'm remembering Online or Frontier when I think of the Yamatsukami subspecies, but Shen Garden, I think he was in Frontier, but I don't think he had a subspecies or anything like that. Yeah, I agree, Spaceman. As much as I love Monster Hunter as a series, I do really think that Capcom makes some incredible mistakes. They had an excellent idea, but it's just been a huge struggle for them to really come out with something perfect. I personally think 3rd generation is fine, but after that, things just started to get a bit too much. Their struggles with balancing things just... they became a bit too surface level, you know? I actually enjoyed Gogmazios. The biggest problem with Gogmazios was because, or rather, the biggest problem with him was the mounting system of 4 Ultimate. He was just another one of those monsters that became so easy to fight, because people would approach him with this team of Rodeo God Insect Glaive users, and he wasn't even much of a hunt at all. Even the event could be killed in, like, it was sometimes sub 15 for the event Gogmazios, with a team of, like, 3 Insect Glaive guys with Rodeo God, plus maybe 1 heavy damage dealer. And it was a joke, you know? Much like Fatalis. I was so excited to find Fatalis in 4th generation, to see how he changed, and he was completely shat on by every team, because there'd always be an Insect Glaive guy, at least one, and really all you needed was 1 Insect Glaive guy with Rodeo God. The whole balance of Fatalis was destroyed, because he has this head that is so out of reach, that of course it would be a weak point, but unfortunately, if you spam mount him, the whole team has access to the head for the whole hunt. So, unsurprisingly, every hunt ends up being like a 6-minute hunt, with the King of Elder Dragons in 4 Ultimate. It's such a shame. Such a shame. Anyway. Oh, okay, yeah, so just Stygian Zinogre. That's what I think I want at this stage. And then, after that... Actually, before Stygian Zinogre, I think just so that I can achieve something... So, in other words, getting a Stygian Zinogre Sky Emerald is probably going to take more time than something else that I want, and that's actually 2 Sand Barioth lashes. So, if I get those first, I'll feel like I'm achieving something, and then I can just sit back and try and get that Stygian Sky Emerald. I've always had an easier time getting regular Sky Emeralds as compared to Stygian ones. So, yeah. In other words, Sand Barioth is going to be the hunt. So ice. And I'll bring, you know what, I'll bring Sword and Shield. Use the Grand Bhavani. Yeah, a lot of the subspecies of 3rd generation stayed in 3rd generation. You have Sand Barioth, Rust Duramboros, Abyssal Laggy, Crimson Kurapeko, well, Kurapeko in general, to be honest. Lots of subspecies here that... And again, Stygian Zinogre could have just as easily been one of those subspecies. You have to understand, because Stygian Zinogre didn't exist prior to this game. But he didn't become unique to 3rd generation. He was brought over in 4th and 5th generation. So that was interesting. Desert Storm. There might even be a triple Sand Barioth quest, but we'll just do the single one. Yeah, that's correct. Ivory Laggy is also unique. Because Ivory Laggy had no place outside of 3rd generation. The whole idea of Ivory was to have a land-based Laggy. Hey Hawk, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a little while. But the whole idea of Ivory was to have a land-based Laggy. But if you bring Laggy back in 4th gen, where there is no underwater combat, of course there's no reason to have Ivory. What ended up happening was the regular Lagiocrus took on the moveset of Ivory in 3rd generation. So, that's how it was. That is to say, in 4th generation he took on the 3rd generation Ivory moveset, just to make sure you didn't misunderstand what I said. Leo has the dual scarecrows, and I do intend to get those at some point. I don't know when I'll get around to doing it, but I will at some point. Yeah, that's right. Lucent Nagakuga. I think... Did Green Nagakuga never return? I thought Green Nagakuga was in for Ultimate. Oh, that's true, Hawk. Yeah, I guess you do join kind of late into my streams, don't you? Well, I'll be going for another... Oh. Maybe 2 hours. So, fortunately, you'll be able to watch as much as you'd like. At least I'd hope so. If you need more than 2 hours, then shit, I don't know what to do for you. I'll actually... Well, I'll wait to see where I spawn, but I'm going to have to go to the bathroom, so I'll leech on these guys for a little while I do that. While I answer the call of nature. I'll be back in just a moment. Well, I'm glad they threw me out of there. That actually works out very well, doesn't it? I don't have to worry about being slowly eaten to death. They can just throw me out. Wow, I had no idea Green Nagakuga's first appearance was in 3 Ultimate. I mean, I probably knew at some point, but I just didn't commit that to memory. I will go this way. This is going to end up being faster, seeing as the entrance is right here. Ah. I feel like I'm too far in the corner. I don't like being too far in the corner. One thing you'll notice about me as you watch my recordings is that I'm very anal about my presentation. It's me and the game, and that's it. And that's the way it used to be. Back in the early days of live streaming, and there's a reason. It's because it was better. No distractions, just me and the game. And I have to be nicely positioned. Lighting has to be good, etc, etc. Anyway. Look at that! All 3 of us shielded at the same time. Oh, that was so good. That was gifable right there, because all 3 of us were using Sword and Shield, and we all shielded the same attack in the same moment. Thank you for cutting that tail. That was actually really funny. Of course I would get a Cortex, that sounds about right. Sounds exactly right. Well, thank you for the hair compliments. Whoa! Wasn't expecting you to be attacking me there. I guess he wasn't really attacking me. He was just running around. Need to get those wings just to make it easier to find him. Oh, this has not been a good run. Uh-oh. This has actually been a bit of a mess of a hunt for me. Let's reel it back in, come on. I've just been getting hit like a punching bag. You can't underestimate the range of that side check from Sand Barioth. It's a nasty attack. Even from regular Barioth, to be honest, I can't get over to that wing because I'll end up getting hit by this, I guess, Dust Devil we will call it. Because that is the official name of sand tornadoes. I don't know why they decided to go with something as colloquial sounding as Dust Devil. Anyway. Fire tornadoes are much cooler though, fire wheels. Got Dust Devils, fire wheels, and water spouts. I think fire wheel would be good. I don't think Barioth... Oh! Just when I was going to say he's not going to last much longer, he just flies out. I guess it's because I wasn't contributing for a while there. There goes my controller. Sorry about the ear rape. Bloody hell. Come back here. I try to avoid ear rape where I can, but sometimes it cannot be avoided. Ooh, this is an even older game. I'm playing Generations Ultimate in preparation for Rise. Do you consider Generations Ultimate to be an old game? Man. In my opinion, that's like modern Monster Hunter. Anyway. This is by far... This is one of the more modern Monster Hunter games that I play, honestly. I mean, I technically play Generations Ultimate as well, but... yeah, I do also play. And these days I'm trying to play more Portable Third and Freedom Unite. But again, I don't record it as often because my recording setup for PC is a bit more strict. And there are certain prerequisites for going live there that are not being met today. Not to be vague or anything. Well, I don't know if I can get a lash in the rewards. You never know. If your name's Zelda Potter, stick around, because I also record Zelda games. At the moment, I'm mainly recording Breath of the Wild. Not much of a Breath of the Wild fan, I will warn you, but I started that Breath of the Wild Let's Play when the game first came out, back in whatever it was, March of 2017, and I really need to get that finished, so tune in for that if you'd like. Also, I do record a bit of A Link to the Past and Phantom Hourglass. So, I was doing a recording series of Skyward Sword prior to the announcement of the remake, or remaster I should say, but I quit because I was too fucking angry while playing it, because it actually sucks so bad that it would be infra dignitatum for me to continue playing that shit. I'm worth more than that. What's my favourite Zelda game? Probably the Minish Cap. It's hard for me to say. No, I should... okay. It depends on whether it's 3D or 2D. Top-down versus 3D. My favourite 3D Zelda game is probably Twilight Princess. I played Twilight Princess when it first released, played it on GameCube. Has a huge sentimental value to me. I think it's the... oh god, you want to get me started on Zelda? I think Twilight Princess is everything Ocarina of Time should have been. Ocarina of Time suffers from the fact that it was the first 3D Zelda game. People think it was a masterpiece, but unfortunately it was just, you know, it was like a beta version of Majora's Mask. It had the... it definitely set a standard in terms of storytelling and in terms of Zelda structure, but I feel that that formula was perfected with Twilight Princess. Ocarina of Time doesn't sit well with me. I definitely prefer Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess to Ocarina of Time, and I also have a lot of love for Wind Waker. Played it around the same time that I played Twilight Princess. I agree, Ocarina of Time has not aged well at all. The people who like Ocarina of Time are the people who have too much nostalgic attachment to it. We will do another Sand Barioth, by the way. I forgot to actually check to see if I got a lash, but I don't think I did. I will post it again. And I will check to see if I have a double or triple quest. I think it's triple Sand Barioth that I can select here. But yeah, as far as the game series that I play, I started off gaming with Zelda. I was a Zelda player, almost exclusively, until I discovered the Monster Hunter series. Well, I guess I went from Zelda to Castlevania to Monster Hunter, and then at the same time as Monster Hunter, I discovered Demon Souls. This was in 2009. So I started playing Demon Souls back when, or prior to there being an official English release from Atlas in North America. And then I was also playing Freedom Unite at the same time. So 2009 for me was like the birth of my current interest in video games. So I'm a huge fan of the Soul series, huge Zelda fan, huge Monster Hunter fan. That's like the triarchy. I guess we're gonna have to do single Sand Barioth, unfortunately. I do not have the double quest or triple quest. I do believe it's a triple quest. I can't seem to make a decision on that. I'm so conflicted emotionally on whether or not it's double or triple. I'm not a Breath of the Wild fan because to me it's not even... Has anyone else seen a black flashing line on my screen? Because one of my YouTube viewers is pointing that out. If anyone, again, I do appreciate you for pointing that out, Spaceman. One thing to note is that if anything ever does go wrong with the stream, on your end, don't just assume that it's you. Mention it. Because if it is actually something on my end, I have to fix it. Unless I know about it, I can't fix it, so it's always worth mentioning something. Oh, you do have triple Sand Barioth? Okay. Awesome. Thank you. It's funny, you posted your quest, and they didn't even check to see what it was. This is excellent. Thank you for that, Vernon. But yeah, whatever that black flashing line is, Spaceman, looks like it's just your problem. And you have my condolences for the fact that you have to deal with that, but I'm glad it's not my problem, because I wouldn't even begin to know how to fix that. A black flashing line. Doesn't sound very good, whatever that is. But yeah, I'm not going to go into a Breath of the Wild rant. That would be like, you know, doing an audiobook on a chronicle or something. Me talking about everything that I have wrong with Breath of the Wild, but at the end of the day, it's not what I want out of a Zelda game. I think everyone agrees that the shrine system is terrible. Everyone loves Breath of the Wild, apparently, but everyone can also agree that one of the major systems of the game, the shrine system, kinda sucks. Which is kind of interesting if you think about it. Makes you wonder what it is that you are attaching to when it comes to Breath of the Wild. I'll tell you what it is. It's the fact that it's an open world sandbox and it's just generally entertaining. But unfortunately, that's not very profound on its own. It's not unique, it's not profound, and in my opinion, it's not even that unique of a take on the open world sandbox formula. In my opinion, it's just, the only thing that makes it a Zelda game is the fact that you've got Link and Zelda in the game, and something that kind of looks like Ganon. Other than that, it could have just been some new Nintendo IP. The only reason why it's not a new intellectual property for Nintendo is because they're somehow allergic to creating new IP. In my opinion, something that was more along the lines of Zelda, the series, could have existed alongside Breath of the Wild. But instead they decided to maul the series, at least as far as I'm concerned, to create Breath of the Wild. Something that would appeal to the modern gamer. It's open world, ooh. And I don't dislike open world. I remember when Breath of the Wild was first announced as Zelda Wii U back in 2013 or whatever. I was extremely excited by the prospect of an open world Zelda. I just wasn't expecting it to be what it turned out to be. So, there you go. Yeah, well, as long as you can, I mean, you don't have to dislike it for what it is, but you do have to realize that it's something of a generic open world sandbox that's Zelda themed. It doesn't really strike me as a proper Zelda game. And as long as people can acknowledge that, then I'm happy, like shit. You don't have to hate it, at least acknowledge that. Normally I wouldn't use the same weapon type 2 quests in a row, but I really do want to use Sword and Shield. I guess I could have used my Awakened Ice Sword and Shield, couldn't I? Just to offer some level of variety. I did that just so that I could move away from that tornado. I wasn't intending on getting a hit off there with that jump forward attack. If we can't one-zone these things, this is going to be a real problem. What is Dunban using? Is that... That is actually the Gemmaran Sword and Shield, and I didn't realise that it upgraded into a Hallowed Gen Sword and Shield. That's really interesting. Because there are so many dragon weapons... Well, not so many dragon weapons in this game, but... Certainly for Sword and Shield, I had never considered making Gen Kodachi and upgrading it to whatever it's upgrading into there, but it looks like it upgrades into a Hallowed Gen design, which is pretty cool. One thing that I've come to notice is that it doesn't matter how much time I play this game, or how much time I spend playing this game. I'm always learning new things. I'm seeing weapon designs I hadn't seen before, and I'll tell you what, it's like an adventure here. I'm really enjoying it. Returning to this game was a great idea. For so long I just treated this game as a game that I'd never really put enough time into, because again, I was really burnt out on Tri when I played this. I wasn't ready to fully invest in Pre-Ultimate. And, I played about 1,000 hours and let it go. Just played it very casually, but now I'm back into it quite seriously, in the sense that I'm not just hunting whatever. I'm hunting specific monsters for specific things, like I'm doing right now. I need Sand Barioth Lashes, and this should definitely be the last quest that I need for Sand Barioth, just to update people. I'm actually making the Sand Barioth Greatsword, which is Awakened Water, which is really weird because a lot of the Sand Barioth weapons are actually Awakened Fire. But in the case of the Greatsword, It ends up being, sorry, I'm stripping on camera. Oh, come on. It's hard to do it in my chair, I'll tell you what. Look like I've got a disability. But, yeah, in the case of the greatsword, they decided to make it water. Which is weird, but... Don't slide off my bed, please. You're gonna do it, I can see it. Yeah, it's gonna slide off. 3, 2, 1... Oh, whatever. Let's go hunt the monster, shall we? I hear that's a good thing to do when you're hunting a monster. Actually, hunt it. There it goes, but you didn't hear that, probably. Let's get that tail. Probably could have brought my gold wreathing set, because that actually has part breaking. Thoughts on a Cantor and a Carlos? I like them. I think they're fine. I don't think they need to return. I don't think they have any place in 5th generation. I don't want to see them again. But I like them. I think they're pretty cool. Of course, a Cantor was the final boss of Freedom 2. Lucanlos was the final boss of Freedom Unite. I thought they were very interesting. But not... well, maybe not very interesting. I would say mildly interesting, and then that's about it. And it was nice to see them make a return in Portable 3rd. But... yeah. I don't mind them being in 4 Ultimate, and even Generations Ultimate, but I don't want to fucking see them in 5th Gen. I'll be angry if I see them in 5th Gen. Because you can't just keep bringing them back. Just stop. Let them go gracefully. Please. We're just going to be hunting the same monsters eternally. That's what it feels like for me. For people who started in 4th Gen, it's not a big deal. They don't fucking care, but for me, fuck off. No way. I've had enough. I'm going back and playing the older games, so I don't need to fight them in the new ones. Does that mean that I'm selfish because I want to deny the new players the experience of hunting these monsters? No! Because they can just as easily go back and play the older games as well. Fucking learn something about the damn series. That'd be nice. Isn't that a novel concept? So, yeah. I mean, I'm probably one of maybe 3 people on planet Earth who doesn't want Capcom to bring back old monsters. Anyway. Well, I'm glad to constantly give you the answers you're looking for, Takeshi. Well, that's the way I look at it. Come on, one zone! Let's do it, guys. I'm doing what I can. I'm keeping up with him. This is what I do. This is actually one of the reasons why I bring Sword and Shield, is because you can do that single attack and then keep jumping forward to keep up with the monster. But yeah, that was good. If you can't one-zone the monster in the triple hunt, it actually starts to take a while. But if you can always one-zone the monsters in the triple quest, it's a very quick hunt. It's basically the same length of time as a regular hunt, but you get to kill 3 monsters in that time. We don't need Cortex, so I will replace that. And I think I already carved the tail for the lash, yes. Unless... I received the lash on the first tail card. That trap position seems about right. I think that's about right. I would want to say that it's a little further forward, but it's been so long since I last saw the spawn point of Sand Barioth, so that could be perfectly correct. Yeah, that jacket was getting a bit hot. It was raining quite a bit yesterday, so... Oh, yeah, I was right. A bit further forward, but actually more to the left from my vantage point. Let's get that tail. I think we can get it during this paralysis. Sorry, Dunban. I don't think... Well, that's right, I was meaning to check to see if Zinogre was weak to dragon, wasn't I? I do recall that. Uh-oh. Let's cut that tail and then get him in the trap. Because I don't think he's going to limp in that direction. Or at least not limp in line with the trap. Beautiful. Let's get that wing. Repositioning. What? Is that a troll? Someone in my YouTube chat says, so I'm new, but why does he play more 3 ultimate than like Iceborne? Is that a troll? I don't know how to interpret it. If it's not a troll and you genuinely are asking that question, the answer is, Iceborne sucks. And I play traditional Monster Hunter. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. Oh, I don't check the wiki, Takashi. The wiki isn't very good for checking monster weaknesses. I'll check my reference. Get that off. I had my reference for double cross open actually. I do hope the stream's going okay because my PC's having a moment. Well, everything seems to be going alright with the stream, but my PC's not happy at the moment. For some reason. Got an ancient shard from that quest. Okay. Oh, and we may as well take that as well. Worn blades, don't need those, I've got plenty of those. Water is the next best. So dragon sucks for Zinogre. Good, just wanted to make sure. I was pretty sure that it sucked. Well, thank you, Takashi. Alright, so I shouldn't need any more lashes than that. I hope I didn't forget... Oh, I think I forgot to carve the 3rd one. Oh well. But now I have 2, so that should be sufficient. Okay, so my computer has stopped choking now. And I can confirm monster weaknesses. So... Zinogre... Yeah, so no damage from thunder whatsoever. Ice and water are pretty close to each other actually, closer than I expected. Fire is about the same distance from water as water is distant from ice, so it's a reasonable tertiary weakness. Some monsters have their secondary weaknesses about the same as Zinogre's fire weakness to Zinogre's fire weakness. And then dragon is pathetic, and then thunder is... You're not doing a small amount of damage with thunder, you're doing no damage with thunder. In terms of Sand Barioth, yeah, dragon is his worst element. Just seeing what's happening with this Dunban guy. Because I think he was using dragon the whole time. Okay, so we want to upgrade this. What is going on? What? I carved one this quest, and I thought I carved one in that single hunt. I must not have. Shit. That's terrible. That's actually really bad. We won't bother with Sand Barioth at this stage. Well, let's do some Stygian. Because that's nasty. What would I like to use? Obviously thunder, but... What weapon? There's a 40-second delay on Twitch, yeah. Oh, Takashi is also on YouTube. Check that out. Oh, so why do you hate Iceborne? And Spaceman says, don't trigger him, you will unleash a beast. And then he says, oh, well, I apologize. I'm not actually, like, some aggressive, frightening individual. I just, you know... this is a channel that is not going to be showcasing any world content. Don't expect that. This is traditional Monster Hunter. The implication of what you said, Caesar, is that there is no reason for a person to record a Monster Hunter game that's old. They should just record new Monster Hunter, because that's what's best. Unfortunately, new Monster Hunter is different, and there are certain people who are attached to the old way and really don't gel with the new way. And I don't gel with the new way. That's just how it is. Hello Jaka, welcome back. Shit, I actually need to get ready for this quest. Let's do Thunder Gunlance, how about that? I remember the last time I went Gunlance against Stygian Zinogre. We'll do one Stygian, and then we'll do whatever you want to do next, Vernon, unless you actually don't really have anything immediately to do. At which point we can just keep doing my stuff, I don't mind. This is assuming no one else has posted. Yeah, I don't know either, Vernon. It must be something to do with Twitch Mobile. That would be my guess, because I think you watch Twitch on your phone, don't you? So it must be an app problem. Whatever it is. It's a shame, for sure. So let's see if I have double Stygian. I think there's a double Stygian quest. Well, I don't have it. Yeah, check to see if you have it. It should be in the, in G2. Well, if you started in 3 Ultimate, then I definitely have respect for you, Caesar. So definitely don't be taken aback by my hatred of... Oh, you've got the double, excuse me. But yeah, don't be taken aback by my hatred of world. But, and don't take it personally either. I just, the way you phrased it by saying, why does he play more 3 Ultimate than, like, Iceborne? Yeah, I would feel that the answer would be kind of obvious. It's because I prefer this kind of Monster Hunter game. The most recent Monster Hunter game that I play at the moment is Generations Ultimate. And I was recording that in the past mainly for convenience sake, because there were more people to play with in that game. So if I wanted to record a Monster Hunter game just generally while doing lots of other games, I would sit down and play Generations Ultimate, because I knew that I'd always be able to get into a hunt, whereas in this game, the community's kind of lacking, so there was never a guarantee that I would have people to play with. So, yeah. I didn't realise the Double Stygian quest was not an advanced quest. Well, there you go. I had since forgotten that. Well, that is good to hear. There are also certain sets that I was considering on redoing. Probably my light elemental gun set. If I can make something a little better than what I currently have. I just have full Elatrion gunner at the moment. There are probably better mix sets that I can make than what I currently have with full Elatrion skills-wise. In other words, there are probably skills with full Elatrion for light element that aren't really necessary. And I could probably tighten that up a little bit. For example, Evade Extender isn't necessary. I think Peak Performance is good. I have Peak Performance on that set, and I really like Peak Performance with bow guns. I would never use Peak Performance with a Blade Master set, but for gunning, it's pretty damn good. But Evade Extender is just totally unnecessary for light bow gunning. Totally unnecessary. I don't think the series could really do anything at this point that would allow me to enjoy it more. Because what I'm looking for is... I don't want it to go beyond what it's done in 4. Like, 4th generation was really the limit. That's all... If they went any further, and they just can't help themselves but go further, what they really should have done was focus on the weapons working a little differently, and maybe having more interesting and dynamic monsters. That should have been the way forward for Monster Hunter. Instead, they simplified the skills system, they fucked with a lot of other things as well. And as a result, it's really gone in a bad direction for me. And then on top of that, you've got the typical balancing issues of Capcom that only exacerbate the situation. So, really, I think Capcom needed to realize that there was a point where they had to stop changing it. They had to stop, well, not changing in quotes, but rather improving. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it kind of thing, but in this case, it's like, well, you need to draw a line somewhere. But unfortunately, not everyone can see what's wrong with World. Which is a somewhat, I don't know, sneaky way of putting it, because it would suggest that my opinion that World is bad is purely objective, but I don't know. I feel so strongly about it that I feel it almost is objective. I think it comes down to a sensitivity issue rather than a different perspective. I feel that if you're more sensitive to the things that make it worse, then you can't really handle it, but if you're not as sensitive, then maybe it doesn't bother you. But that's kind of unfair as well, because you can't really guarantee that is actually the problem. Because in the case of Vernon, it's not lack of experience in the series that leads him to enjoy World, because he has plenty of experience with the classic games. He's either identified aspects to World that are actually very, very good that overwrite everything that I've mentioned, or he has less sensitivity to the problems. I don't know. But it's not something that I would attack him over, because at the end of the day, he's in a position to have an opinion. In my opinion, those who do not have a point of reference have no argument, because you cannot really ascertain the quality of something unless you have a point of reference. That's just how it is. So in other words, people who, for example, in the Souls series prefer, let's say for example, let's say they started in Demon Souls, like I did, and they for some reason think Dark Souls 2 is the best Souls game. Well, I'm going to respect their opinion more because of their point of reference. They have a point of reference, like not just started in Demon Souls, but played all games including Demon Souls. And if at that point they have come to the decision that Dark Souls 2 is the best one, then okay, that's great. I can't imagine how they came to that conclusion, but I will concede that they at least have an appropriate point of reference to come to an informed opinion. And I think one thing that people don't understand when it comes to opinion is that it's not purely subjective. It's not purely subjective in the sense that there is such a thing as informed opinion and uninformed opinion, and that's where the point of reference comes into play. If you just come into World and you've never played another Monster Hunter game, of course you're not going to know whether it's good in the context of the series, because you've got no idea what the other games had to offer. So, if your opinion is that World is the best Monster Hunter and you haven't really played the other ones, that's an uninformed opinion. Yeah, it's subjective, but it's uninformed. So, yeah. And then if you do nothing but, if you look at surface level things like, oh, the animations in 3rd gen look like crap, or, you know, the graphics aren't as good, that's so surface level that, you know, that's not an opinion. You haven't just formed an opinion, you've formed a misconception, a misunderstanding, at best an uninformed opinion. So, yeah. And that's how it goes. That's how I view it. Good chat about the same old stuff. It's good to use Gunlance again with Zinogre. I do not often use Gunlance with Zinogre, and I think part of the reason why is, particularly when he's enraged, he moves pretty quick. And I suppose that would categorize him as a monster that I'd like to have like a high mobility weapon type to go up against. There goes that time. Tail carves are very important actually for me, and I'm glad I've got Carver High. Unfortunately I didn't get Carver High effects on the second tail. Maybe it's only one tail each, or it is purely chance based. But the more tails the better. Let's try to capture this one. Okay. Just trying to like pinky type that fucking sentence. No way. Just put down my controller and type the damn thing. One good thing about Stygian Zinogre is that even when he's fully charged, you can shock trap him. I'm going to try and drop a trap on him. I'm going to put it here because if I put it on the side of his leg... Oh, that's not good. At least I got flinched out of that. That's not a bad thing at all. Uh-oh. Scratching my face. I'll try to drop a trap here. I really don't know if he's capturable. The problem is, the lower the health of the monster, the harder it is to get them capturable. Or rather, get them to limp. I should, you know, I was that whole fucking time, I was trying to put down a trap. That whole fucking time, because I had a feeling that he was capturable. Just had a feeling, but... oh well. I haven't played Monster Hunter Stories, but I did watch all 75 or so episodes of the anime. And that was pretty bad, but that doesn't necessarily mean the game's bad. I don't really know if the game's any good. But I haven't played it. And I will say that just purely based on the fact that I know nothing about it, I don't really have an opinion on it. That's alright. Hopefully I'll still get a Skymerald. I can cross my fingers. It feels bad that I need to actually pray for rare items here, but... it's good, isn't it? Because you can actually... I feel like you can fully interact with a Monster Hunter game when you are begging the RNG gods for their grace. Okay, that was... look at those fucking shit rewards. This is what I mean. This is why you capture one and kill the other. It's because you only get one set of kill rewards, or one set of capture rewards. In other words, you... if you kill both, you get one set. If you capture both, you get one set. But if you capture one, kill the other, you get both. So... that's alright. Oops, didn't mean to take that. It's called Capture Guru. Yes, there is, that's the thing. If you do want to know exactly when to capture a monster, you can do that. And that's one example of why World oversimplifies things. They make it so that no matter what, you can see when to capture a monster, when that's not necessary. Why would it be necessary to just present that information to people? You have to work for that shit. You have to work for that shit. Or at least you should have to. Whereas in World, no, they just hand it to you on a silver platter. It's Wipe My Ass Monster Hunter Edition. That's what it is. That's the whole game. Admittedly, I should have brought both my, well, not just both Capture Guru and Luck up, but just my single Gold Raytheon set, because then that would have been better chance for the rare drop. Silly me. Well, that's the world community for you, Jaka. Or Yaka. What should we do next? Do you need anything, Vernon? Because if you don't, we can keep doing my quests. I'm perfectly happy either way. Perfectly happy. I'm just glad to use this gun lance. Because really, I can't believe I didn't have a thunder gun lance for all this time. You need money. Okay, let's do Sand Barioth again. Then I can make that damn water greatsword. I wonder if I still have that triple quest on rotation. I was checking for, or rather I was checking through advanced quests before, and I did actually have the triple Sand Barioth quest. This time I will use the Ice Sword and Shield for Awaken. Kalkomatia. I don't think he's really fought too much Goldbeard. You did miss the world bashing a little bit. I try not to do it too often, but you did miss it. I did not have the triple quest for Sand Barioth. Oh really? Why would it be a mistake if it ended up being a weapon that you really liked, Jaka? Yes, that's correct, Hawk. I've talked about that quite a bit. About how the SOS system ruined the online play. Full world. And then they had the balls to bring it back. Yep. Thank you, Capcom. That's called being utterly tone deaf. Wow. I'm sorry for asking. Dunban left the port because I asked if anyone had 3 Sand Barioth. I guess they just don't want to do it. Leo's checking, because he's cool. Leo's down for anything. I like this guy. Oh, I see. Because I'm going to be spending a lot of time farming the materials needed for the different sets yet again. This is true. But that's what you do in Monster Hunter. That's the end game. Just keep on grinding for more and more things. But Hunting Horn's interesting. I actually prefer 2nd generation Hunting Horn, personally. 3rd gen's alright, but... and 4th gen as well, very similar to 3rd. Because Portable 3rd really changed Hunting Horn quite drastically. But... I enjoyed Hunting Horn in the very older games, because they were I think a friend of mine really explained it well. He said it wasn't like super, I guess, articulate, but he said something along the lines of, if I'm going to use a janky weapon, I want it to be full jank. And to translate that, Hunting Horn is a weapon type that is a bit rigid, and there is a beauty in simplicity, and when you take Hunting Horn to full rigidity, you have to commit to it to a level that is even greater. Like, the level of commitment is beyond 3rd generation, and when you have to commit, like you do with playing songs in 2nd generation with the Hunting Horn, for me, it's really fun and enjoyable. So, yeah, I can definitely see that. Because that person I'm talking about was actually maining Hunting Horn in Freedom Unite when we were last playing, which was interesting. It's not something that I would do, play only Hunting Horn throughout high rank and G rank, but he did that. Arm wrestle? You know, I was undefeated back in Tri. Back in the Tri days, I was undefeated. I think, and I used the same controller back then. I'm not good anymore. He fucking beat me! Shit, I am out of practice. I am out of practice, clearly. Nice work, man. Nice work. Shit. Fucking hell, man. I actually prided my... Back in the Tri days, it's been, you know, 8 or 9 years, but... back in the Tri days, I prided myself on being undefeated. With the arm wrestling barrel, but... It's been a while. My technique was spin the left analog stick and mash the buttons here. So do those at the same time, and if you can do that fast enough, you've got it. But, oh god, that hurt. What's crazy is that, I mean, I hadn't thought about it, but it is the exact same controller that I used to mash like you wouldn't fucking believe in the arm wrestling game, and it still survives to this day. It is the exact same controller. I can't believe it. Oh, that's ridiculous. The only person to beat you was a friend who used like a turbo controller. What an asshole. Fucking turbo controller. On a Wii? Whatever. What a prick. You're not sure if you're going to buy Rise Hawk? Because of all the world elements? I can appreciate that. I have to buy it and play it, and I have already pre-ordered it. Because I need to see if I'm going to keep playing Monster Hunter. As far as the new games are concerned. If Rise doesn't do it for me, I'm not going to bother anymore. I'm just going to play the old games and that's it. And I'll be content with that. There are a lot of games for me to play in the series that I'm going to enjoy playing forever, I think. If you only had maybe 2 to play, it would be pretty hard, but provided you have enough games to rotate through, I think you'll enjoy it forever. Well, I think a person could enjoy it forever. And I think I would. Trying to get that tail. Maybe I should wait for a knockdown. I just need that tail more than anything. And what frustrates me more than anything is that I'm not guaranteed to get a lash when I carve it, but I only need one more. Cross your fingers, everyone. Oh, Protimus or Protimus just bit the dust, or bit the sand, I suppose would be the way you'd say it. That's a tail opportunity. More tail opportunity. There's a sand one. Yeah, there's a Sand Barioth, man. Unique to this game. It was an interesting implementation, because he has these crazy sand tornadoes that he jumps into and flies around the area in. Not like inside the tornado, but he uses it to launch himself across, and it's very cool. I guess he does the same. He does the same with in his ice form, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't do that. God, I can't even remember how regular Barioth fights, because I almost never fight regular Barioth, you know? In this game, Sand Barioth is so... like, his items are so often needed that I find myself always fighting Sand Barioth, but not very often fighting regular. But see this constantly swirling... look at that, there's a good demonstration of it. Right there as I was wanting to talk about it. Let's get that tail. There we go. Cross your fingers, everyone. Thank you. That's my last lash. Yeah, maybe I didn't describe it very well. It's possible that I didn't describe it well at all. Get those back legs, maybe get a knockdown. Oh, cue him. Cue him. You can do it, Vernon, come on. Oh, we can do it. Come on. This guy's using a fucking thunder weapon, but whatever. I think I still have the Barioth weaknesses up. Sand Barioth. Do I? No. His weakness to thunder is... oh, it's his secondary. Not too bad. Not too bad. Since it's a secondary weakness, I'm not going to take too much issue with his use of Nether Longsword. Well, that's one weapon taken care of, at least. Oh, I think there's a shiny over here. Let's go and grab that. Rugged Plower. It's one of those words that just doesn't work in English. Plower. Plower? 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 I don't know. It's probably Latin or something. It's like the automatic assumption Oh, it's weird and funny sounding? It's probably Latin. Spilt port on my hand. Oh well. Life goes on, doesn't it? I'm missing one fur. Very good. Okay. You can see, given that I have no tails and so much stuff from Barioth outside of tails, that I either never cut the tail or I never carve it. And that backfired quite heavily on me when I actually needed to make a Sand Barioth weapon. It was my thinking that I wouldn't need to make one. But then I decided to get into Awakened weapons, and here I am, making the Sand Barioth greatsword, and that might not be it. There might be other stuff as well. What gets me is that Rugged Pleura looks like honey.
Okay.
Let's go and make that water greatsword. I'd like to use it, actually. But I can't really use it against Stygian. What else do I need? So, here we go. We need Skymerald there. Let's make this. That's taken care of. What else are we making at this stage? Need Fusium for that. That's going to be my Ice Awakened Longsword. Also need some Pelagisite ore. Don't really want to make that. Yeah, I suppose that's everything, isn't it? Yeah. What's this? Worn gun lance? Nah. Okay, well, I'd like to find something weak to water. Is there anything you can think of, Vernon, that you might get some use out of that's weak to water? Fucking ore? Wow. That's one way to read it. It used to be called Union Ore back in... Actually, I don't know if Union Ore was in 1st gen, but I know Union Ore was in 2nd generation, but Union became Fusium. And, I guess then it became Fuckium. I don't know if Dimeralis is very weak to water. It might be his secondary, let me check. It's actually his tertiary weak. No, it is his... No, it depends on what you're hitting. Oh. Water isn't too bad, but it's not that great either. He's honestly not that elementally weak, to be completely honest. His smelter is primarily weak to ice. His smelter is that, you know, on his tail, that big circular thing? He's mostly weak to ice with that, and then secondary is dragon, tertiary is water. Regular Naga? He's not weak to water. His primary is thunder, secondary fire. Naga Cougar is weak to... I'm trying to find it. Come on. He is weak to... Yeah, water is his worst element. Well... What do I need? Do I need anything from a fire, or rather a water-weak monster? I don't know. I just really want to use this. I have to use it. I must. I'll post something, for fun. I must use this weapon. Simoom Sandbiter. Don't know what Simoom is. I know about Haboob. Haboob is a sandstorm or whatever the hell. Don't know what a Simoom is. It might be a different type of Haboob. Something about boobs, I don't know. You guys are weak to water, aren't you? Don't really want to do greatsword. You know what? Fuck off, no. Okay, I'll post something fun. What's fun? Can I have a fun quest, please? No. You're weak to water, aren't you, Mr. Silver Rathlos? Let's do Silver Rathlos. This is going to be in the tower. This is actually a location from 2nd generation that somehow made its way into 3rd generation, but only in this game. This is an offshoot arena to the tower location. The tower location is where you would actually fight Gold Raytheon and Silver Rathlos in high rank, as well as Yamatsukami and... who else? There's someone else as well. Anyway, you'd fight them in the tower location, and then there were arena-based side offshoot areas to the tower, where you would fight Gold Raytheon and Silver Rathlos in G rank. So, here we are. In Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, going to the tower. Alright, good to hear, Vern. Welcome to Hunter Rank 30. Yeah, Silver Rathlos has some good armor pieces for mixed sets. I used to have a mixed set that had Silver Rathlos. I was watching one of my 2015 recordings of 3 Ultimate, and I saw that I had this old mixed set. I was using a Fire Longsword, and it was this Silver Rathlos Agnaktor mixed set of some kind, and it had Giganox Waste. I'm like, I remember that set, but I don't remember what the skills were. It was just one of those weird situations where I recognized the set very well, but I haven't had it for so long. I removed it for some reason or another. It might have been a Fire Blade Master set, like something really situational. I'm not going to go for a slam charge there. That's too dangerous. Ooh, there goes the fire. There's a rather nasty double quest for Gold Raytheon and Silver Rathlos in this same location. That's right, you also fight Kirin in this location in 2nd generation. He's fucking annoying. Do you see that big tower in the distance over there? In 2nd generation, Yamatsukami lands down in the top of it, and you fight him there. And you also have to climb the whole thing for like a full minute, maybe even longer, to fight high-rank Gold Raytheon and Silver Rathlos. In other words, in Freedom 2 that was necessary. And then, obviously, the quest from Freedom 2 that remained in Freedom Unite also forced you to do that. Look out. Whoa. You didn't pin him for very long at all. Yes, Gold Raytheon is a luck-based set. But Gold Raytheon and Silver Rathlos, the armor sets, were very difficult to make back in 2nd generation. I can't remember how they were in 1st. I haven't made them in 1st. But I can tell you in 2nd generation, you needed one mantle for every single piece. They were called divine scales, or heavenly scales, sorry. They were called heavenly scales, and it was the same as mantle, and you needed one for each armor piece. So, yeah, good fun. I nearly fell over when I fucking saw that in the past. As long as you did Descendants of the King, it wasn't as bad. Descendants of the King was the double quest that you could just cheese with flash bombs and paralysis weapons and stuff like that, if you had a good team of 4. But, yeah. It was pretty hard unless you had that going for you. But if you did have a team that could get that quest cleared, it was almost a guaranteed heavenly scale for at least one of those 2 monsters. I love the tower location. I think it's pretty crazy that you had to climb the tower for so long. You keep going up and then eventually you get to the Remobra and then you get to the open area at the top of the tower. I don't know why the story was that the tower was broken at the top when you fought Yamatsukami. Maybe if I paid more attention to the story that would make sense, but Yeah, the tower is actually broken when you fight Yamatsukami. I don't think he broke it. Must have broken some other way. Maybe it was even more ruinous by the time we went there to fight Yamatsukami. I don't know. But, you don't actually have to climb the whole tower. Yamatsukami actually flies into the hollow interior of the tower, and then you fight him on the ledge, on what was previously the walkway to go up. It's kind of cool. Or maybe that wasn't the walkway to go up before. It doesn't matter. The point is that Yamatsukami, you don't actually have to go to the top of the tower, because it's technically broken when you fight him. Now, it was not a bad position for the flash bomb, but it wasn't quite right. I'll wait for an exhaustion, and I will drop a shock trap at that time. I just don't want to use one here when he's not exhausted. As you know, I'm kind of hurting for pitfall traps at the moment. So, oh dear. No, 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 no. No, you don't. Naughty. That was a good knockdown. Nice work. Obviously, the weak point for Silver and Gold are the wings. That's Nasty, who is running Gun Lance. Protimus. Smack you across your fucking head, mister. I do not like having my greatsword charges interrupted by Wyvern Fire. Looks like he's got long shot time. But whatever. Settle for level 2 there, and beautiful. Still on purple sharpness. And I think I've been making connection with the monster fairly frequently, so I guess I just have good purple on this weapon, do I? Yeah, oh, it's not too bad, but that should illustrate just how well sharpness lasts with a greatsword. There we go, nice hunt. Nice work, guys. Gold Rathian and Silver Rathlos are pretty good health-wise. Well, in other words, they're quite beefy. And getting a nice fast hunt like that means that we've got a pretty decent team. I hate Lucinaga Cougar. I was not a fan of that hunt, and I'm not a fan of that hunt. I can speak in present tense because we're currently playing 3 Ultimate. Protimus is gathering at this point over here. I believe in 2nd gen these were ancient scales, if that's correct. In this game it's Elder Dragon Bones. I'm probably remembering ancient scale incorrectly. It was some kind of scale though. But here it's Elder Dragon Bones inter alia, but primarily Elder Dragon Bones. Alrighty. So, unfortunately I received fuck all, but that's alright. I wasn't doing that quest for anything in particular. Just wanted to use my new water greatsword. That's why I was here. Alright. So with that, we can probably fight some more Stygian Zinogre. I'm going to try to sell... Can't sell it there, I have to go over here to sell it. There we go. How am I going for money? I'm not at the max at this stage, but I'm never going to have problems with money again. Because ever since I had to start selling my quest rewards because I was running out of box space, I amassed so much money that I really don't have to worry anymore. Okay. So let's go and equip something appropriate for Stygian Zinogre. What would we like to use? I was using Gun Lance last time. Let's use Longsword. Ice Longsword, which is the... no, Thunder Longsword, sorry, so Nether Delemnity. There is no Awaken Thunder Longsword. Again, as I said, there are certain elements for certain weapon types that cannot be acquired through Awaken. In other words, there are no weapons that exist in the game that have an Awaken or latent element, I guess I should say. And Thunder for most weapon types is not possible through Awaken, which is kind of annoying, but yeah. So I think the quest is through here. It's an HR8 quest, I think. Don't put Rage Match up. God. Maybe it's here. There it is. Souls of Darkness. And we really want to try... Oh, hold on. Changing. I need to go and use my Gold Raytheon armor set, because if I'm trying to get Stygian Emeralds, I actually need to have... I mean, Capture Guru, Part Breaker, Great Luck, those are all very useful, so I will use this set. It's been a little while since I've last needed to use this set. This, I think, was my second G-rank armor set. After I made my Azure Loss, or Azure Raphalos armor set, I went and made this. And, yeah. It really helped me through the game, obviously. It's a very useful set to have. It doesn't have raw resistance, unfortunately. And Carver High is very good, because then... Sorry, bumping the mic. I did, the last time we were hunting this monster, get double calves on one of the tails, although I'm not sure if it's possible to get double calves on both tails. That's something I'm not sure about. Ugh. But yeah. And I didn't always have a green accent on this set. I think I only added that in maybe 2016 or so. But it looks nice. I think the green looks pretty good with the gold. Yeah, it's a very good armor set to have. Let's do it. We'll capture the first one because I just want to take care of the first one, and well, in other words, take care of capturing the first one so that we don't have to worry about it after that. You know, you get the annoying hunt over and done with first and foremost. I think it might be slightly faster to go this way. I could be wrong, but you never know. Welcome back, Ethan. I'm going to paintball you here, and then I think we might fight the other one first. I don't know. I don't have to fight this one. I really don't mind either way. If you can see, Protimus, I'm making my way to where you are. We're all congregating in Area 2, so let's fight this one here. I'm happy to do that. Alright, so we're going to expand the map so we can see the paintball nice and easily. Again, we have Heartbreaker here, so cutting this tail will be an easy thing to do. Simple process. And then we just need to be careful because these double Zinogres have almost no health, honestly. Provided we have a good team. So I just need to be keeping an eye out on that. Paintball. What do you mean you got the opposite of low? What does that mean? I know you don't intend to do this, Ethan, but when you type to me, it is often so cryptic. Anyway. Once that tail's cut, I'm going to absolutely unload on this monster. Protimus is also aiming for the tail, which is good. It's nice to have some assistance. Leo is going Black Diablo's Lance, which I think I'm going to use as... Oh, I have resistance to dragon here. Because my dragon resistance is at 20, which actually gives me resistance to the blight. But, yeah. What was I saying? I think the Black Diablo's Lance is going to be a lance that I use for some Awaken. I think it's Slime. I believe Black Diablo's Lance has a Slime Awaken status. And it's actually really good as a weapon. Even without a status or element, the Black Diablo's Lance is pretty good. But it's especially good. Oh, the other Zinogre's here, I can see his paintball. But, yeah, I will be putting slime on it when I do eventually get it. It's going to be pretty good. All messages retracted. How many is that? 5 messages retracted from Ethan, followed by, just had a good night. Okay. Well, I'm glad you had a good night. That's what's important. Oh, capture. Cap first. Let's be nice and careful. He's limping out. I can cap hunt second. And it looks like I didn't really need to tell them, although Protemus seems to want to follow me, but I think he understands what I'm saying. The point is that if we're just going to cap this one, it's easier to have one target. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the trap in the direction that he would limp otherwise. So if I place it here... Oh, I'm running out of stamina. Come on. Can I put it down without being hit? Did I get it down? No, I didn't. Fuck me, man. Come on. So this way, if he'd... Oh, no, 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 no. I have one trank. No! I can't capture him. Oh, no. This is embarrassing. I only had one trank. I can't believe it. This is so funny. This is so funny. Okay. It's just really important that we have one of them captured. But, yeah, obviously I used my only trap, and after having placed that trap, I realized that I only had one trank. So that's pretty bad. Protemus, if you can capture that bastard, then, I'm gonna be a happy camper. That's really funny. This is why you make sure you have the tranks you need for whatever quest you're doing. Oh my god. I mean, honestly, one trank isn't gonna... You're not gonna get any mileage out of a single trank. You can't do anything. But at least we don't have to worry about capturing this one. The capture has been taken care of. And we can now kill this one. If you can hear a low frequency hum, or rumble, that is a garbage truck in my street. I address that for those who are keen of hearing, and those who are not keen of hearing will now not be able to unhear that low frequency rumble. So you can blame me for that. I might go and pick up this shiny. And it's important that I carve this tail before it despawns as well, because I don't think I carved it before. Of course, shinies are very important to pick up if you're looking for a rare item, because that is just another, it's another dice roll. I did not get a double carve on that one. It's alright. We do not call it a rubbish truck, we call it a garbage truck. But I understand why you would think that we would say rubbish truck. We actually call it... What do we call them? We might have like an Australianism for garbage trucks. What do we call them? Think of an Australianism for that. We probably do have one, I'm just not able to think of it off the top of my head. I don't really use Australianism. It's not my thing. I don't suppress them for this recording. I just don't use them. I don't say brekkie. I don't say arvo. I don't say, you know, shit like that. I just don't. It's not in my lexicon. Trasharoos, that's a good one. Ethan suggests trasharoos, which is, I would say, probably better than what the Australians could come up with, in my opinion. Maybe some people do call it rubbish truck. I never thought about that, but I've never heard it. I'm still kind of floored that there are no Dragonbone artifacts in this game. For the longest time I thought there were Dragonbone artifacts, but there aren't. The highest is Dragonbone Relic. Which, again, is very, very strange. It's not like that would have been extra work to bring Dragonbone artifacts into the game. Oh dear. Let's hope for a Sky Emerald, shall we? Everyone cross your fingers. I'll probably need 2, though. I think there are at least 2 Stygian Zinogre weapons that I want to make for my Awakened armor. No, Awakened weapons. Yeah, I'll just tell every Australian that I know, I'm just going to let them know. It's called Trasharoo, okay? I don't know if you've heard, I'm just letting you know, just updating you on the terminology. This is the modern Australian vernacular. It is Trasharoo. What have we got? Hey! Ask and you shall receive, but I have to tell you, it is so important to capture one and kill the other, because that gives you so much more of a chance to get the rare item. It's a big deal. So that, plus having great luck and all of that business, really helps. Really helps. It's not a guarantee, but it does boost your chances. So that's good. I can make... Well, let's fight something that's weak to dragon, shall we? I don't know what that would be, but I need to use my new weapon, don't I? And we are going to sell those cortexes. And we will go and... Oh, I'm out of trank bombs. Do I have tranquilizer in my box? I think I do. No? I do not have tranquilizer in my box. Well, I can fix that quite quickly. Yes. Let's go and buy some. And I will make a shitload of trank bombs because I have a lot of bomb casings. A lot of bomb casings. Let's buy 3 stacks of tranquilizers. I don't know why I feel the need to do this. But I'm going to subject you all to the sound of combining 4 trank bombs. Apparently people are into SMR these days, or ASMR, excuse me. Get a load of this. Is it not the most pleasant sound to ever grace your eardrums? Well, that's my attempt at imitating it. It's not a good attempt. In fact, that was embarrassingly half-assed. What's weak to dragon? Trank SMR, exactly. What is weak to dragon that we could fight? I've pretty much taken care of the 2 weapons that I really wanted to take care of in this game. Or, excuse me, in this recording, not in the whole game. I'm done now. I've made enough. No, I'm actually pretty much satisfied when it comes to my weapon crafting in this game for this recording. So, what could we do? Monsters weak to dragon. I don't want to do Deviljho with a sword and shield, okay? Deviljho is always the first thought that comes to mind, but I don't want to do Deviljho for this. Because sword and shield against a Deviljho, and Ethan can tell you, he can lend credence to this statement, but it sucks. Don't do it. Because obviously all you can hit are the weak points, which is the legs, and yeah, there's no verticality to the weapon, or at least not enough to deal with the Deviljho comfortably. So we want the Brimstone Drake scale, and then we go and upgrade that. It's not an amazingly interesting weapon design, but it's okay. But again, for some reason they decided to make the Stygian weapons Awaken only in this game. So that means they were originally Awaken only, because this is where Stygian weapons first appeared. Hello, Polio. Let's do Rathalos, yeah. If we have a triple Rathalos hunt, and I will check to see what I have, then we'll do that. Sounds like a good idea to me. Let's both have a bit of a gander. That sound that you just heard, I mean, maybe you didn't hear it because I've got my game audio set to the volume that it ends up being during a hunt, so maybe you don't hear the ambient noises of the port location. But when you speak to the guildies, or the guild females, whatever you'd prefer to say, occasionally, and this came from Try, they make this sound which doesn't sound human. It's like, it's weird, it sounds exactly like that. It's like, it's just, it doesn't sound like something that would come out of a human mouth. And it's fucking weird, I've never understood it. It's not... It almost makes me concerned for her well-being. But, anyway. You never noticed it? Well, it's been pissing me off since Try. Oh, Vernon posted. But, yeah, it's been pissing me off since Try because it sounds creepy. And it exists in this game too. You've never considered it non-human. Well, it's because of that. It's got a particular tonal quality to it that doesn't sound quite right. It's that sound, like that almost, it doesn't sound like it's coming from the vocal cords. I can achieve that sound because I'm filtering it through a slight gap between my teeth and my lip. It's like, it's just weird. It doesn't, it's not normal. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not human. Just a high-pitched yah-yah or something. I don't know, that's not how it sounds to me. That's my impression of it anyway. And yes, I have had 10 years to perfect that sound, because it's been pissing me off since Try. The Ara in Freedom Unite. I can't really think. I swear to God, the characters in Yukumo speak some broken Japanese. Because, I remember the chief says something like, Sonnaru mono, but like, what's that? Sonnaru mono sounds something like an undefined thing. That's what it would mean. It would be like something. But I don't... Sonnaru mono. Because mono is like thing, and then sonna is something, I think. Anyway, I don't think it's actual Japanese, but in other words, you've got Wyverian language in most locations, but I think Yukumo, they have some weird kind of Japanese, I don't know. But, oh. So Monster Hunter language is Japanese rearranged. It's Japanese translated to French and then back. Oh, I've got a Gaijin Hunter story I have to tell you guys. Gaijin Hunter and I had a bit of an altercation. I was playing with a friend of mine in Generations Ultimate. This was like a year and a half ago. And Gaijin Hunter joined the room. I said it was Generations Ultimate, didn't I? Yeah. And he joined with a Prowler, and he said, cats rule, monsters drool. And I said, cats are terrible. And my friend said, change the cat or buy. And I just laughed my ass off. I thought that was so funny. And then Gaijin Hunter's response to that was, Gaijin Hunter here, ready to hunt. And my friend was like, okay, bye. And he said to me, now kick him, hurry. We were on a voice chat and I said, okay, I'll kick him. And so we kicked Gaijin Hunter. And then, next thing you know, a server of my friends who play Monster Hunter started roaring with laughter. They were pinging me like crazy. They said, Gaijin Hunter just made a post about you. You kicked him from a room. And oh, that was the funniest day. Oh, that was so funny. But I don't like prowlers, okay? And I don't make it a habit to kick people out of rooms. I don't do that. But my friend was like, kick him! Because he had already said, okay, bye. And because I was the room host, it fell to me to kick him, and so I did it. And oh, it was a funny day. But yeah, the people who yeah, it is prowler discrimination indeed. But oh man, the way the series of events took place, the way they took place was so funny. And the friend who asked me to kick him in the first place, I told him, when we were still hunting, he was choking. He was laughing so hard. He couldn't breathe. It was... Because I have to tell you, unless you were there... Oh man, the series of events was golden. It was golden. But yeah, I didn't actually know the story around the Monster Hunter language. That's pretty cool. But yeah, they saw that it was me. And they were like, oh yeah, you would kick Gaijin Hunter, wouldn't you? But I didn't even really know it was him. He said, Gaijin Hunter here, ready to hunt. And I was like, okay, he might be, but I'm not going to assume that he is. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't dislike Gaijin Hunter, mainly because I have nothing to dislike. I don't watch his stuff. I mean, he's from a rather different generation of content creation for Monster Hunter. There are definitely people who come to him for information, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's good. Social dissonance, not officially, but almost passed the torch onto him, because in third generation it was social dissonance, Shepard, and then for fourth and beyond it was Gaijin Hunter, basically. And then almost prior to that it was Mazirion, but not really, because there wasn't a specific person who was a deliverer of information, a disseminator of information, I don't know, to beginners in Monster Hunter, prior to social dissonance. So. Shepard is actually, well, I was watching the Monster Hunter video podcast, well, prior to it even being a video podcast, I started watching the Monster Hunter podcast, or listening, I should say, back in the audio podcast days. And I'm actually the one who made I think it was a 5.5 hour compilation for the 5-year anniversary of the Monster Hunter video podcast on YouTube. And it was a lot of work. But it's basically all the scenes that entertained me from the Monster Hunter video podcast, and it's uploaded to my channel, actually. And I actually had a viewing stream with Shepard. We watched the compilation together, and I commented on a few things, but mostly I was just there to enjoy it with him and allow him to react as necessary to whatever was going on, because there were a lot of incriminating things for him as well. But that was very enjoyable. I enjoyed that a lot. I remember the name Kogarth, but I don't remember the person. Kogarth. Anyway. I think the first Monster Hunter YouTuber that I watched was Thorkel the Tall. He was uploading Monster Hunter DOS. And then he started uploading Try back when that was only out in Japan. He had Giganox used Double Team, Deviljho used Dig, and other such videos that were very funny. And I love Thorkel the Tall. And then, as well as that, I watched Mr. Bobo. He was uploading Try content. Also for the Japanese version, prior to the release of the English version. But, yeah, he didn't actually have commentaries, Mr. Bobo. He was the guy who did most of the pictures for Monster Hunter Tri weapons on the wiki. You can see that because he has Bobo written in the corner of the pictures. Oh yeah. You helped Boba admin the Monster Hunter Freedom 3, or Monster Hunter F3, what's that? But yeah, he was part of the Monster Hunter Wiki, but I never understood why he decided that it was necessary to put his watermark in the side of all the pictures. I thought that was rather strange. But aside from that, yeah, he was a presence in the Monster Hunter Wiki community. I don't know where he ended up. he deleted his channel in 2011 or whatever. I suppose that would have coincided with his split from the wiki. But, yeah. I never had any personal correspondence with Bobo, but I just remember watching the videos he uploaded. He had like a Crimson Laggy, he had Mini Deviljho, and he also had showcases of the Japanese event weapon designs. Uh-oh. Well, no way! We triple carded, what?! I wasn't even paying attention to the team! I can't believe what's just happened. A triple Rathalos and we've failed it. What's going on? I really wasn't paying any attention to what the team was doing. I mean, I was doing that entire hunt subconsciously, to be completely honest. What is going on? Oh, he called it Monster Hunter Freedom 3 because he thought... Oh, that makes sense, yeah, Freedom 3, yeah. That does make sense, but the reason why I wasn't expecting it to be called Monster Hunter Freedom 3 was because Freedom was specific to the portable games. Which is, I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't think of that, because that's what Monster Hunter Freedom was. It was Monster Hunter Portable. So you had Monster Hunter Portable, Monster Hunter Portable 2nd, Monster Hunter Portable 2nd G, and then Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. And so all the portable games were called Freedom, but then we had the first stationary console game. Freedom was just a way of saying portable. Monster Hunter 3 was not a portable game, so it wasn't going to be called Freedom, so I don't know why he thought that, but... yeah. Monster Hunter MHF3. I suppose it was written like that in the past, but I... Oof. Anyway. I see why he assumed that. I'm just saying that Freedom was specific to portable games, and he had no doubt forgotten that. It was a wet paint site, I see. But yeah, that was fucking atrocious. Whatever, I managed to use my sword and shield, so I'm content. I wasn't actually doing that quest for anything in particular, so I'm really not going to get upset over that. Yeah, it does fucking suck, Ethan, but at least I didn't need anything from that quest. Okay, can we all just appreciate the fact that Potato has said nothing this whole live stream, and then he comes in and says, I'm off to bed, good night. Like, he does this thing where he lurks my entire stream, says nothing, and then he's like, well, I'm off to bed, good night everyone. It's like, you never even said hello! I don't know what he does with that. Oh, Vernon's gone, what's happened? Oh, you're gonna head off? Okay, no problem. I'll probably stick around with these people, and, I could probably work out what I need. Unfortunately, a lot of what I need for weapons is stuff that wouldn't really work with multiplayer hunts. Because I need things like Pelagisite ore, I need high-ranked Deviljho, I need... what else? Stuff like that. But, maybe I could do whatever they want. How about that? I feel kind of bad. I'm like, you guys can post if you want, like 2 hours into hunting with them and posting only what we want. But yeah, thanks for hunting, Vernon, as usual. Oh, you said something at the beginning of the stream, did you? I never saw you say something. It wasn't on YouTube, and it... No, I didn't see you say anything in Twitch either. You must have said it right as I went, oh, you were talking about CSGO. That's true. Sorry, I'd forgotten that. Okay, you're lucky, Potato. Mr. King of Lurkers. Leo doesn't want to post. Well, Protimus can post. What does he want? Yeah, those people who always had friends to play with didn't have to suffer the change in community environment across the games. The online community degraded further and further with every iteration in the Monster Hunter series. I would complain about 3 Ultimate and its community because I would compare it to Tri, and then 4 Ultimate came out, and then I was complaining about the 4 Ultimate community compared to 3 Ultimate, and then lo and behold Generations Ultimate comes out, and then I'm comparing about, or rather I'm comparing it to 4 Ultimate and complaining about Generations Ultimate because it's so much worse than everything else, and then you sit there and realise, holy shit, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Whereas if you just play with friends, you don't have to worry about that. Shit, what was the quest he posted? Steal Urugan. So I guess water or... is it water or dragon? Or is it ice or dragon? Let's find out. Water or dragon? It looks like water is the primary. Yes, it is. Okay. So what would I like to use? I remember thinking of Steel Urugan for a water weakness monster, and then I decided no, I don't want to use greatsword for it, so I won't use my water greatsword. Let's just use longsword. Let's keep it simple. I can use that lovely tri-weapon, the Kibamaru. Check this thing out. I love this weapon. It's very simple, but it's effectively designed in the sense that it looks like something you could have in real life, and if it were in real life, it would be very cool looking. Looks pretty damn cool in game, I can tell you that much. Because I remember seeing, when I was first playing Tri, I remember looking at the Argo CC Captain's longsword and thinking, fuck, I'd like that longsword. And then he eventually gives it to you. I think you had to kill Sideus, but yeah, it was really cool when you could actually receive it from him. And it was the best water longsword in Tri. And as far as I'm concerned, it also is here. But it seems like it does not accept sharpness +1. Maybe it's not the best water longsword. Anyway. All I can say is that it's not bad. And at the very least I'm using it here because I have sentimental attachments to the longsword from Tri. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Takashi. That's the greatsword, but I'm not going to use it against Steel Urugan. There's something about Urugan and greatsword, I don't think they go so well together. I'm not sure why, but I'm not really feeling it. Cole visited. Well, I'm sorry that you just joined as we started the quest. But if we tell him that we just started, he will leave, so I'm going to force him to wait. Because I'm a nasty person, I guess. Would have been faster if I didn't go this way. I went the long way, but... oh well. I think Leo started in the area that I did, and he had the right idea. I did not bring deodorants this time around, because I'm very negligent. Uh-oh. At least I wasn't affected by the actual damage, then. That's a good thing. Oh. No thank you. No thank you. I will pass on that. Bouncing off that fucking face. One of the things I'm worried about with greatsword is that I might accidentally hit that stupid chin instead of hitting the monster after doing a level 3 charge or something, and that would be kind of awful. Yeah, this is a Radoban reskin, Takeshi. It is, I mean, clearly, it looks the same as Radoban, so obviously Capcom were like, well, fuck. We're running out of time, let's make something that looks like Radoban. It can be lore-based. Oh dear. They've evolved for different locales. I'm serious, like, people were saying that Urugan was a Radoban reskin and I wanted to smack them. Actually. Fucking assholes. mean, I hope they were embarrassed when they realised what they were saying. But, okay, this is a great camera angle, isn't it? Got someone shooting poison. Is that Leo? That looks like the bamboo bow? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I've never used that myself. I've seen it around, but... I think in Portable Third and this game. It's a Portable Third weapon, but... yeah. Never used it personally. You like using hunting horn with Uragan? I've never done that, I don't think. Mainly because I'm not much of a hunting horn player. I do use hunting horn every now and again. I'll go for that trap once he gets up, but for now... finish off my combo. I think he's leaving the area, isn't he? Oh no. Those bombs managed to get him at least. Oh, I probably no, I'm not going to sharpen because he is going straight into that trap. That would have been a bad idea for me to sharpen, and so I did not. And for that reason I now reap the benefits of my quick thinking. Alright, now let's sharpen. That geyser managed to help me out a little bit. Pushed me further away from the monster so that I could sharpen in peace. You played only hunting horn in a secondary file of Portable Third. Some people do that. Oh, Cole has left already. It only took him like 4 minutes. Maybe not even. Quick to leave, isn't he? Oh well. Yeah, I do see that with people. People do that in the older Monster Hunter games. They make separate files to only use one specific weapon type, and I haven't personally been able to work out why they do that. Because for me, you can just as easily do that with one single file. I don't know, but... whatever. Everyone plays Monster Hunter differently. Oh, that didn't work out so well. Get away from that. Don't need to get all stinky. That would be a bad time. You did that? Shot in Stolz? Stolz. Shot in Stolz. Don't watch my, if you're actually German speaking, do not watch my Pokemon Snap German version, original Nintendo 64 recording. Because that was me making fun of the German language for like 4 hours. Not actually making fun of it nastily, just, you know. I was reading back some things that were said in German, and I'll tell you what. Oh, it was pretty rough. You don't speak much German, well good. One of my regular viewers speaks German as a first language, and I was so embarrassed to have him watch that, because... I didn't realise he was, you know, he speaks English quite fluently, and he lives in an English-speaking country, to my understanding, but his first language was German. And I said to him, look, don't watch that, and he went and watched it, and he said, it's not too bad, your German's not too bad, I've heard worse. He said Turkish German's worse. Oh dear. Oh, that actually makes sense, yeah, that is the name of the Gormagala greatsword. I had totally forgotten that, because I don't use the Gormagala weapons very much, but I do vaguely recall seeing that. Protomus is pretty happy with the quest. He's kicking back. I do love the Brachydios armor design. How cool is that? I can understand some might not like it, but look at the damn thing, and the way it matches the weapons too. It's so cool. Is Gormagala in Rise? Either way. I'm sick of them bringing back monsters. Hello, there is my 7th Uragan Pallium. You know, I'm sitting here trying to get Stygian Zinogres, and I'm sitting on like, what, 15 Earth Dragons Fires. Long story short, all of the rare items that I don't need I have plenty of, and then the ones that I do need I've got basically none. It's really annoying, but I guess it's always like that, isn't it? Wow. I got up to take a fat witcher piss and it's already dead. Nice. I don't know what a fat witcher piss is, but it sounds like it's pretty intense. Would you like to report on the experience both emotionally and spiritually? Because I think we could really have a deep dive on that one. Speaking of a fat witcher piss, I need to go to the bathroom because I've been consuming liquid on camera, which means that frequent visits to the bathroom are to be expected. I'll be back in just a moment. Actually, I'll let them know that I'm... I'll say BRB 2 minutes. Anyone can post. I'll be back in just a moment. It would appear that my team... Anyway, this doesn't matter. I do see that my teammates are in no rush to actually post anything, so... No one said anything. I'm back. I don't know what that face is, Polly. Polio as in the disease? Was that how they spelt it? I think it was. Yeah, polio. That was a bit nasty, wasn't it? Polio? When was that again? The 50s, 60s? Something like that. I think it was the 50s, wasn't it? Anyway. Post, please. Okay. Well, I don't really know what I need. I guess I could post high rank Deviljho, seeing as though I actually want to do that. I would bring normal heavy bowgun for that. Just because I do want to break the face, and I feel like the most consistent way to do that, or at the very least the most effective way to do that, is use a consistent shot type like normal. So I will do that. I was considering making a female character for this game as well, but I very quickly realised that wasn't going to work for me. I go back and forth between doing male and female characters on Monster Hunter. All of my male ones are called Lord Zor, for no reason other than that was the first name that I randomly thought of when I was making my first character in Freedom Unite, when I started playing Monster Hunter. But unfortunately my name ended up being Lord Zor in Try, because I was having a bit of a situation in the character creation process, as you can imagine. So high rank Deviljho. Be Devil a Deviljho? Yeah, why not? Can you guys handle a high rank quest? Or are you not feeling it? I will top up my tranks here. Do I have normal shots here? I do not. Let's top them up. They didn't post in that time, so I'm just going to assume that they have nothing they really want to do. So I will just stick to whatever I want to do. Makes sense, right? Yeah, we'll top those up. And I think we've already got needleberries, but I think I might need to top up needleberries. I do not need to. Okay. Well, we should be perfectly fine for this hunt. I think we've got plenty of shots available. I think dragon is... Dragon resistance. What is dragon resistance? Where do I get that? I don't really need it, actually. Let's just go Moxie. Yeah, feline hurler. That's exactly what I need. Yeah. Increases damage of stones, throwing knives, and boomerangs. Perfect. Just perfect. I mean, increasing the damage of throwing knives is actually pretty significant in this game because apparently there are people walking around just giving random players status knives. Don't know why, but apparently it's their idea of helping people. Giving them cheated equipment. Or cheated materials, whatever you call them. Wouldn't really call them weapons, but I have to say I really do love the lance design for the Giganox lance in this game. It is so much better than the portable third design. I don't think there was one for try, was there? There might have been. And I just never used it, but yeah. Anyway, I really love that lance design in the G-Ring version anyway. Giganox Hunting Horn is definitely very functional. It was very popular in this game. Can't remember if people used it in Portable Third. I don't think I did, but yeah, it might not have been in Portable Third, but I feel like it would have been. All I can say is that a lot of people used it in 3 Ultimate. Haven't seen it recently, but in the past, definitely. Yeah, it was the coffin. Really should have brought some meat. I don't know if they're going to bring meat, but hopefully my... Oh dear, this is already not looking good. I'm going to try and aim for the face. Hello, Dennis. Dennis visited the port. Well, I regret to say, Dennis, that we've just departed. I'm about to sneeze. Oh, goodness me. What's the meat? Sleep meat? Okay. They're not going to have any problems breaking the head this time. Just please let me detonate. If you don't let me detonate, I'll fucking cry. Are you putting down a trap? Yes, you are. Very good. Beautiful. Oh, it was not quite in the right spot. It was good for that, but that's not too bad at all. My DPS is going to be slightly lower because I'm just getting consistent shots off on the face here. How's that face not fucking broken? This is unbelievable. Whatever. There we go. There's a broken face. Ask and you shall receive. As we know. Now. Magia Charm I never really used. That was the dragon one, wasn't it? The dragon hunting horn. Didn't use it too much. Although I can't really remember my portable third hunting horns, to be completely honest. I'll just stand here, wait for him to do that, and then go forward. I remember seeing a video on YouTube in the past about old Deviljho versus new Deviljho, and in the animation they had the cloud looking very thin and undefined for new Deviljho, and then old Deviljho had this really thick cloud, but the reality is that he only had that thick cloud in the portable games. In Tri and 3 Ultimate he had that same mist, look at it. It's more of a mist than a really thick fog sort of thing. I don't know, maybe fog's not the word, but the point is that it really is the traditional design in World. It's not different to what it originally was, it is in fact a return to the original Dragon Breath. So I thought that was interesting to know. But I will say that I do... just a random Antica running across. But yeah, I will say that I do prefer the, say, portable 3rd Dragon Breath quite a bit. I might check shot zones for Deviljho while I'm here in the quest, just to make sure that aiming for the stomach is a good idea. It's a little dangerous. I'm almost there. Okay. Okay, good. I'm correct in that the head and the breast are the ideal shot zones, so I'm glad. Just wanted to make sure, I wasn't entirely sure. Maybe it is more of a cloud in 4 Ultimate. I'm actually not sure. I thought it was a bit... I thought it was more similar to... Portable 3rd than it was to Tri and 3 Ultimate, but to be completely honest, I don't really remember what it looks like in 4 Ultimate, but anyway. You might be able to remember it better than I do. I do play 4 Ultimate reasonably regularly. I don't stream it, but I do play it with my friend Ethan. And, yeah, I haven't fought Deviljho there recently, so the Dragon Breath doesn't come to mind, but my guess was that it would have been more similar to Portable 3rd. One good thing about Normal 2 is that you generally don't have to worry about running out of shots as long as you've got combination materials for it. That's terrible accuracy on my part. You missed the most under 3 blood effects? Yeah. That was one of those things that you didn't realise that you really needed until you had them, and then they disappeared again. They were pretty cool. I don't need access to Dragonbone relics, honestly, so if we kill him before he can limp out, it's not a big deal. Not at all. I think they're trying to cut the tail, to be honest, but I don't really need that cut. So hopefully after this quest, I'll be able to make the Deviljho dual blades, at which point I will actually have some dedicated dragon dual blades, because prior to this point, oh, come on, Protimus. Gotta be joking. But yeah, prior to this point, I only had Thunder and Dragon dual blades mixed into one weapon type. Or one single weapon, I should say. So I'd like to just have pure Dragon dual blades, which is what those Deviljho dual blades will be. Strangely, you don't have too many choices. I don't know why they decided that Electrion couldn't have dual blades, but yeah. And I also don't know why they decided that nice work on the tail cut. Give them a nice for that. Because I could see that they were working on it. Very good. But yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, I used to, when I was playing World on PC, I was modding it as well. I wasn't heavily modded, but I had a mod for true raw and true element to be displayed. I had a mod, I had like a transmog mod, and I had, I think, the Cool Taroth set. I had a female character with the Cool Taroth set at all times. I also had, this is obviously pre-Iceborne. What other mods did I have? I think I had another one. I didn't have that stupid mod where like in Monster Hunter Online you could see how everyone was contributing to the hunt, because I never liked that system in Monster Hunter Online. I always hated that, because it turned it into a competition. The idea of Monster Hunter is to work together as a team, but not to compete against one another, necessarily. Shit. I might have to do another one. I got 1 fang out of that. What the fuck is wrong with them? Giving me basically nothing in the way of fangs. I think I need 3. Shit. That's terrible. I hope they're willing to do a second one, because I really do want those Deviljho dual blades. That's really quite nasty. So I need to go and sell some keen bones, or whatever they are. Hard bones, that's what they are. Oh, don't take them out. So keen bone I don't think I have an extra stack of. I was just recognizing it incorrectly. Okay, so we want to sell hard bones. And then I'm going to just make sure. Dennis stuck around. What are you up to? He said. I hope I didn't ignore him. I hope he asked that question while we were loading in. But, yeah, we are ready to hunt anyway. With him, that is. I think I've got... No, I create them outright. Dual blades, please, don't link. Yeah, check this out. 2 more Deviljho fangs. Fuck off. I break the face, and what do? You give me 1 fang. Fuck off. That's correct, Takashi. I just, because what happened was, at the end of a quest in Monster Hunter Online, the damage dealt by each teammate was represented by a percentage, and you could always see when someone in particular wasn't pulling their weight. I didn't like it. I don't think it really added anything. It was a bit nasty. I thought it didn't seem like it was in the spirit of Monster Hunter, and to see a mod that was almost ubiquitous among the PC players of World, basically doing the same thing, where it really shows you exactly how everyone's contributing. It wasn't in the spirit of Monster Hunter, and I didn't like it at all. But anyway, I'd like to do another Deviljho if we could. And if I only get 1 fang again, I'm just not going to do another Deviljho high rank level, I'll just do something else entirely. Because that is more than I'm willing to handle. I hate only getting 1 of what I'm looking for. Maybe capture would be better. I might actually check that. I'll check my reference to see if fangs drop as a capture reward at any decent percentage. So, for high rank, fangs are carved at an 11% rate, while capture does not yield fangs. You can only carve them or break the head to receive them, which means we don't want to capture. Good to know. Good to know. Fuck off, bot. Bigfollows.com. Who came up with that name? Mind if I don't? What? Dennis? Of course you can join. Dennis asks, mind if I join? My friend, you're here in the room. Of course you can join. You're more than welcome. Oh look, this guy's using an interesting set. I used to have a set in this game. I removed it because I never used it, but it was a Crag Knockout King light bowgun set, and it used that light bowgun. It was pretty decent, but yeah, I just didn't get much use out of it, so I had to replace it with a different arm set. Can't remember what it was that I replaced it with, but yeah, I have that heavy, or rather light bowgun somewhere. Somewhere in my equipment box. It's the Duramboros light bowgun. just eat for this, I guess. Yeah, Dennis, please don't join the quest. Just take up the slot. I want to hunt with 3 people, but I don't want a 4th to join, like the entire room, so just hang back, man, just hang back. Hello, Beta Star. I'm currently working on making the Deviljho dual blades. And, yeah, I'm trying to get high-rank Deviljho fangs. And I've got a full team of G-rank hunters to help me, so it's quite useful. My team is quite useful, that is to say. So Leo is going full slime, it looks like. Well, that is to say, he's got full Brachydios, which will obviously be... Oh no, it's not full Brachydios, excuse me. He's got a mix set with Challenger +2, Adrenaline +1. Adrenaline +1 is a nothing skill. There's no reason to have Adrenaline +1. All it does... I guess it's like a weaker Guts effect, in the sense that when you drop below whatever it ends up being, 30% health, you get increased defense. But it's not really useful. Adrenaline +2 is what you want, because that gives you increased damage. But anyway, Challenger +2 is a very good skill, and Bombardier is decent, I guess, and Sharpness +1 is cool too. Not a terrible set. Well, it's a decent squad. Better than what I've had in the past, we'll say. This is an 8+ room, so... Oh, I need to make sure that I am organised for this hunt, which I am not. I need to buy some normal level 2. And I'm actually not going to stock up on huskberries and needleberries, because I've actually got plenty. I would imagine that we'll be doing more damage this time than we were last time. So I'm not going to need as many combination materials as I used last time, so this should be plenty. Just saves me time organising for something that doesn't need to be organised for. Let's go. I do like this heavy bowgun. This is basically a pink version of the long shot from Monster Hunter Tri. For some reason in Monster Hunter Tri, they decided that there would be an ancient heavy bowgun that wasn't very ancient at all. It was just a Raytheon heavy bowgun, and they called it the long shot. There were 3 bowguns that were actual single bowguns. In other words, in Tri, all bowguns were composite. They had a barrel, a frame, and a stock, and they were fully customizable in that way. But there were 3 bowguns that you could actually just have as a single bowgun to equip. Those were Demon's Isle, God's Isle, and the Long Shot. The Long Shot actually rapid-fired plus level 1. It was a very weird gun. It didn't really have much use. Yes, you did customize the bowgun, and that was the only game where you actually customized the bowgun. 2 of us are pinging, just for good measure, and I forgot bombs. Oh, Doomlink. You fool. You trapping? Yes, you are. There we go. Again, ensuring consistent hits on the face, so I'm lowering my DPS just enough to hit the face every time. And that's a broken face. And indeed he is going Crag, because that's exactly what you do with that light bowgun. As I said, I used that light bowgun for my previous Crag set that I used to have. And he's doing that. He's going clust. Oh, good on this guy. I like this guy. You don't see people gunning like this anymore. Not in 4th gen, not in 5th gen. It's a dead breed of hunter. Sticky is basically Crag reimagined. It's Crag for idiots. In other words, explosive ammunition that causes KO. Or deals KO damage. So, yeah, Sticky is like a reimagining of a slime shot from 3 Ultimate, but replacing Crag. In other words, it's like an amalgamation of both. And, yeah, it fucking sucks. Who would have thought? Whereas Spread Shot for bowguns I think is actually pretty cool, but unfortunately they totally ruined with the advent of Kultaroth. Speak English, please, Demon. With the advent of Kulvtaroth, they totally ruined the balance of spread shot. And I'm not going to get into that rant because it's very lengthy. But spread shot as a concept is really good. I love spread shot, but they ruined it in World. Base World, I don't think it ended up being as good in Iceborne, but yeah. Base World, they totally ruined spread shot. This is why we can't have nice things, it's because Capcom have no concept for how to balance anything. What do? They probably made spread shot less effective in Iceborne, and then they made a weaker shot type like Sticky, not just viable, but totally broken, so thanks Capcom. Just shift the problem to a different shot type. No problem. You're doing God's work, Capcom. Oh, spread shot was the meta in Iceborne for a little while. Well, that means they didn't learn their lesson. So actually, that's even less points for Capcom. But yeah, back when everyone was shooting slicing shot, when World first came out, I discovered spread shot. I was using the Flamen Canon, the Anjanath heavy bowgun. And god, that was fun. Anjanath heavy bowgun spread, back when you couldn't just shoot spread with no recoil and absolutely shit on every monster because there's no, I guess, how do I say this? Spread shot is supposed to be balanced as far as, not just limited range, but also things like high recoil. Mostly high recoil, to be honest. Once they took away that high recoil and made it so that you could instantly load as many shots as you want, or as many shots as you wanted, it ruined spread. It totally ruined it, so. We do definitely want to kill, because again, we cannot receive fangs as a reward. I don't mind him breaking into the next area for someone's benefit. Not for mine necessarily, but maybe for someone's benefit. Oh, this will kill him for sure. I wonder if... yeah, Dennis is using the Dober set, so... my memory of the Dober set is that it has Awaken, so he must actually be using an Awaken Lance set, which is pretty cool. So Noga Heavy Bowgun being the meta in Iceborne, great. Because that ended up being the meta in Generations Ultimate too. But with pierce shots, not pellet shots. Which became spread in World. Why is it for idiots, Ethan? Because Cragshot was different. Cragshot was higher recoil, and that's what it really came down to. That's why spread was imbalanced. Crag is supposed to be something that you really work towards as far as having low recoil with the shot type. I don't believe Sticky really was a high recoil shot type, was it? If I'm incorrect about this, please let me know, but my understanding of Crag is that it's a much heavier, higher recoil shot as compared to Sticky. Therefore, you didn't have to have a set so strictly tailored to the Sticky shot type as you did have to have a set strictly tailored to Crag shot. So therefore, it's not necessarily... again, I think I needed 4 fucking fangs, and unless I carved one, I still... no, I don't have enough, because I just saw how many I actually had, and that was not enough. That's fucking annoying. But, yeah, my point is that if you have to work less to actually be effective with the shot type, it means that it's a simplified version of what once was, and it's worse off overall. Bring back medium bowgun, Capcom, you cowards. Yeah, they're cowards, alright. If they had any fucking inspiration, they would have kept the bowgun system of Monster Hunter Tri. But they didn't. They bloody well didn't. Sometimes I don't know what possesses them. Medium bowgun, to my memory, was just a heavier It was light bowgun. Okay, medium bowgun basically made it so that you didn't want light bowgun. It did somewhat depend on what you would end up having for shots with whatever your combination of gun parts were. But my point is that if you had really, really good shots for light bowgun, with whatever you would come up with, then you'd go with light bowgun. But for the most part, medium bowgun was just a heavier light bowgun that you could still sling on your shoulder. So, exactly. I mean, we talk about certain things maybe being too difficult to balance, but even the simple things are difficult for them to balance, and overall, they don't seem to be too concerned about ensuring that a Monster Hunter game ends up balanced when it's ready for consumption. They don't seem to be too concerned about that at all, because if they were, you would think they'd do a little better, but they really don't. Whatever we receive ends up being a complete mess, so I don't really know. I almost want to do another Deviljho. I feel bad asking for this, but I do need one more. Could we do one more, Joe? I'm almost on my hands and knees at this point. Could we do one more, Joe? Hi! Hi. We've been hunting for like 2 hours together. Hi. Okay. So, if we can do another Deviljho, then I'm happy. Because then I'll actually be able to make those dual blades. They did change that, Takashi. Charm tables didn't cease to exist. They just altered it as you described. I can't remember when they changed that. It might have been in 4th generation. I think that's when they made it so that charm tables changed every time you logged in or loaded into the game. But yeah, prior to that point, and I think charm tables first came about in Tri, I think. I don't know if they were in Portable Thirds. Someone has to tell me that, because I actually don't know. I don't know when charm tables first appeared. I can only assume it was a Tri thing. And I don't know if it was in Portable Third, but someone told me that it was. So, yeah. The change took place in 4th generation, Takashi, because in 3 Ultimate, the charm tables are also static. In other words, I'm on charm table 4, and to my understanding, I can't change that. It depended on the time of day for your system clock when you created your character. So, 3 Ultimate was the first time people actually started to pay attention to charm tables, but I believe they existed prior to 3 Ultimate. So yeah, definitely. I personally, I don't think knew anything about charm tables prior to this game. This was the game where everyone was, you know, going so far as to, before actually settling down with a character, rolling their charm table to make sure they didn't get a cursed table. I was just lucky enough not to get one. I ended up on charm table 4, and thank God for that. Because it's not a cursed table, and it's actually a pretty decent one. It's not the best, but it's up there. It's one of the better ones. And that was not really knowing much about charm tables at all when I created this character. So, that was a good thing. If you end up on a cursed table, it's going to be pretty hard to make armor sets. But, provided you're not on a cursed table, you should be okay. So, I think charm tables are a bit of a fucking stupid system. Terrible idea overall. But, that's Capcom. It must have been some sort of concession that they made for the whole talisman system, but I don't know. My reasoning for charm tables first coming into existence in Tri is that that's when talismans first came into existence. They didn't exist prior to Tri, so I feel like charm tables would have been a thing as of Tri. Oh, I'm sure charm tables are back, without a doubt. I think charm tables are in Portable Third. I really do think they are, because I remember someone talking about it. I think charm tables are just something that exists in the back end of any Monster Hunter game that has a talisman system. Which means, well no, actually, there is no table system for guild weapons. There couldn't be, because that's already determined by the guild quest that you do. So yeah, there is no charm table system for that. In other words, the guild quest that you do is like a visible version of charm tables as they were changed in 4 Ultimate to change every time you load it into the game. Just getting consistent hits on the head here. I did bring bombs, so this head is not going to last too long at all. Break. Oh no, that's break number 2 on the face. That's pretty cool. Gotten that taken care of. What a good team. Look at us go. I've been shitting on this guy. I understand we're a G-rank team going up against a Deviljho, but I'd say that we're pretty well synchronized here. Well, it's actually Deviljho Fang. But yeah, I'm definitely on a cursed Deviljho Fang table by the looks of it. I mean, imagine having to do 1 quest per Deviljho Fang. Who decided that would be okay? That's what I want to know. Look at this. Oh, Deviljho. Well, I don't really need to aim for the head anymore, do I? I can get more consistent shots off on the breast. So let's do that. Oh, you're not going to last too long, Deviljho. I can feel it. I can feel it in my waters. Uh-oh. Managed to evade through that attack. Just as well. I think that's a limb. Has to be a limb. Come on. Looked like he wasn't aiming for... Like, he wasn't turning towards a player, so I feel like that was him either wanting to leave or limp out. That would be a fast leave if it weren't a limb. Anyway. Hello. You're facing me. What would you like, Mr. Deviljho? How can I help you? Oh, you're limping out? You poor bastard. I remember the first time I ever saw a Deviljho limp. It felt like such an achievement. Because back in Tri, Deviljho was a serious monster to hunt. When you were first going through Tri, it was a big achievement to even reach Deviljho, and then when you got him limping, it was like, yeah! Really felt like you were achieving something. It was great. It was almost surreal to watch a Deviljho limp at first. Because you have to understand that in Tri, you were introduced to Deviljho as a monster that you really couldn't kill on your own. Even as a group when you were first going through high rank, because he would be summoned in Kurupeko quests and he'd randomly dig out of the ground in other quests as well. Point being that he was just too strong. And then when you were finally level appropriate to fight him, and he was still a bit of a difficult hunt, I'll tell you what, it was quite an achievement when you got him limping and then finally killed him. Killing a Deviljho was not a minor thing in Tri. Well, hopefully I can carve a Fang. Because at least that would guarantee it. Because it's only 50% as a wound reward, did you know that? 50% as a wound reward, so technically speaking, I could actually do this quest and not even get a Fang. Thank you for giving me one, just as I was talking about it. Deviljho was like, oh fine, I'll give you one. If you're gonna make a big fuss about it, then fine. Take it from my stomach. I swallowed my own Fang. I got punched in the face by... Who would... I guess Brachydios. Maybe Brachydios punched him in the face one time when he was going into the volcano. Admittedly, Brachy can also come into the tundra. So I guess they had a fight. Brachy punched him in the face and he swallowed his own Fang. And I just carved it out of his stomach. That's my headcanon. Exactly, and now you get 4 in the rewards. That happens all the time. I don't think that will actually happen. But, I always get that. When I'm working for multiple materials of the same kind, I get 1 or 2 each time, and then the final time, when I only need 1 left, I get so many. But again, I think it's only 1. Yeah, only 1. Oh, good. I have what I need anyway. I'm glad that I have a group of people to play with, honestly. Makes me happy. Alright, I'll go and top up my bombs. That's interesting. It's important to know, Schattenstolz, that in the case of some monsters, the carves that you can get do change depending on where you carve the body. Now that's only for when you have different carve points. So for Fatalis, for example, if you carve the face, you will have a higher chance of getting horns. If you carve the head of a dead Gen Moran, you are going to have a higher chance of getting sturdy fangs, because they do actually change the drop rates depending on where you carve the monster. Okay, let's create those Deviljho dual blades. I should be able to upgrade them fully, because I think I have plenty of... Oh. If I'm in the sword and shield... Like, this isn't first generation. I can't go and upgrade a sword and shield into dual blades, please. But yeah, I should have plenty of G-rank materials here, so let's see what we can do. Cross your fingers. Yeah, Lao Shan Lung had that as well, to my understanding. Here we go, Wrath and Rancor, where are you? Yeah? Okay. Wrathful Predation. This is a good start. Nero's Wrath. Is that the last one? That looks like the last one. It requires a crook, and there you go. I now have Dragon Dual Blades, exclusively. Silver Crown, nice. Well, that wasn't my only Silver Crown. Let's see what my crowns are looking like for Deviljho. Hello, Deviljho. I think I went past him. Yeah, I did. There we go. Okay, now. 65 Deviljho dead. And I don't have a gold crown, but apparently that was a smaller gold crown than the one that I had previously received. So... World Eater time. I wish they brought back World Eater. I don't know why they didn't bring that back. That was a fun quest. I only ever gunned for that quest because it was so impractical to use a Blade Master weapon. I would always watch these people using Blade Master against World Eater, and I'm just sitting there going, why? What are you doing? You can't even reach the weak point. Not unless he gets thrown on the ground, but it's terrible for DPS, I'll tell you what. Leo is heading off. He stuck around for a while, which was good. Oh, okay. That was a major thing. I now officially have all elements for all weapon types non-awakened. So, I'd like to go up against something that's weak to dragon, to be honest, because I'd like to test these out. Whenever I make a new weapon type, or rather a new weapon in general, I'm sure you guys can relate to this, you just want to test it out, don't you? And provided you have sharpness +1, these dual blades are actually pretty good. I don't know why they gave it positive affinity. Is it to make me feel better about the lacking elemental value? I don't know. Thank you, Beta Star. Yeah, what should we hunt? Something that's weak to dragon. I feel bad posting. Maybe, you know what, I won't actually post my own quest in the interest of fighting something that's weak to dragon. I'll have Dennis post something that he wants. This is assuming that he wants anything. Just asking him if he needs anything. If he doesn't actually need anything, then that works out well for me, because again, I'll be able to choose a monster that's weak to dragon. Because I would love to... Plenty of things, he says. Anything weak to dragon? if he has plenty of things that he needs, maybe I can help narrow down his choices. But yeah, keep in mind the Deviljho dual blades first appeared in Portable 3rd because there were no dual blades in Tri. So a lot of people have a bit of an affectionate attachment to Wrath and Rancor. Abyssal Laggy. Abyssal Laggy with dual blades. I don't think I would enjoy that. Sure. I can't believe what I'm agreeing to. Abyssal Laggy with dual blades. Why am I doing this? He's right though. Abyssal's weak to dragon. Oh my god. I'm doing it, everyone. Dual blades underwater against the strongest underwater monster in the game. If we don't include... I don't know. Well no, Abyssal Laggy is stronger than Goldbeard Cedeus, so... yeah, this is the strongest underwater monster in the game. And I'm gonna use fucking dual blades. Oh. You've never hunted Abyssal Laggy legitimately? Well, actually, the Abyssal Laggy glitch tutorial, I made that video. I uploaded it to YouTube back in 2014, and it's still sitting there. I guess some people probably still get something out of that. It was the first ever tutorial video that I made, and I haven't made one since. It was very cobbled together, but it ended up working kind of decently. The only thing that I would change about it is that it's too obvious that I'm reading off a script, something pre-typed. It was all very quickly done. But, yeah. It's not on this channel, it's on just a generic channels like Lord Zor or whatever. But, yeah, I actually did an Abyssal Laggy glitch tutorial, and I sort of bullshitted my way through it with the recommended loadout, because I was using a fire bow, and that's just, you know, again, cobbled together, and I was even talking up defense up, as if it was a good skill to have, but, yeah, it was such a cobbled together video, but I think it turned out somewhat well, considering. The main reason why I'm happy with the video is because of how well it turned out in spite of how quickly I threw it together. So, the main reason why I did it was because I remember searching out of interest to see if anyone had done a video on the Abyssal Laggy glitch tutorial, and no one had. And apparently Iceman Noob did it for the 3DS version, maybe even in Japanese, but it wasn't easily searchable, so I just made one. And I think it was fairly comprehensive. But yeah. That's still sitting on YouTube. I think that was April 2014 when I made that. This guy's hunter rank 999. He is hoping. He is hoping. Wow. He has got the exact same set that I have for Rapid Fire Dragon. Isn't that interesting? Like, I swear that is exactly the same. Peak performance, attack up medium, bonus shot, and element attack up with Illuminator. That's really funny. Am I happy with my inventory? I think so. Yeah, Iceman was cool. Last time I saw him, he was playing Euro Truck Simulator or whatever it was. Wearing his little beanie. This was around the same time that I made that video, actually. 2014 about. And, yeah, I haven't seen him since. I'm sure he continued doing stuff, but Iceman was cool. Yeah, he made Monster Hunter videos, you know, around the Tri era. And shortly thereafter. Possibly for a while after, I don't know. He might still be making videos. I'm not trying to suggest that he's no longer relevant, I haven't watched Monster Hunter content in a very long time. I've just stuck to my own stuff personally and played the game on my own terms. Aha. This is another monster that requires high-grade earplugs. Very interesting. I had forgotten that. Oh wow, I managed to get caught in that hitbox. That's horrendous. I really do wish I didn't choose this monster to test dual blades. This was actually a bad idea. Yeah, Iceman noob, as I said. I think he was English, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Oh, Iceman deleted his channel and disappeared after World. I had no idea. I hadn't checked his channel in... Well, as of now, I haven't checked his channel in like 8 years or something, but, yeah. Sorry to hear that he deleted his channel. So I guess that means that I probably have the only abyssal laggy glitch tutorial video on YouTube. I should fucking remake it, honestly. Not that the original's bad, it's just it could be done better, so I'm almost tempted to do that. But I guess it has relevance because it's an older video, so... Anyway. I was just surprised to see that no one had done it, because it was fairly well known in the community by 2014, and so I had assumed someone would have made the video and no one did, so I just made it. Oh dear, get away, stop. You damn bastard. Aha, that's very good. It's difficult to cut the tail of an abyssal laggy, but it's very good for dynamo chances because it's a double carve. Every time. And I don't have carver high, do I? I do have carver high, so maybe it is a single carve. But the point is that it's just an extra chance to get dynamos. And the less you hunt this monster, the better. Because I really don't like this monster. Because it's an underwater only fight. Let's aim for those shell shockers on the back, if they're even called that. The break reward is shell shocker, but I don't know if you would call those shell shockers. I really don't know. Hey Arexion, good to see you. Really, attacking the back is not as helpful with these dual blades because that's of course a very significant elemental weak point. It's a significant elemental weak point, but I'm only doing about 150 elemental damage, 160. So that's actually not as good as you might think. I'm going to sharpen up here. How much? Yeah, I say that's worth sharpening up for. I would say so. Let's not get caught in that. Watch the monster, see what it's doing. Can't believe I'm using dual blades underwater. This is just an absolute... It's a... I don't even have words to describe it, it's awful. How about that? I do love the colour scheme of Abyssal and also Ivory, to be honest, but more than anything else is the weapon designs of Abyssal that I love. I love the lance. Admittedly, it's the same design for Abyssal. Excuse me, same design for Ivory. Whoa! Let's not get caught in that. Don't blame Nintendo for the frame rate. I think it's just a bad port, honestly. I'd say you'd be better off blaming Capcom for this than Nintendo. I don't think it's because of the Wii U. I think it's because they were a bit too ambitious. Maybe they expected too much of the Wii U's performance, I don't know. Did we break the head? I don't know if we broke the head. I can barely fucking see it. It looks like it's broken to me, which means that we have the best possible chance of getting a dynamo. We have full body carve, as you always do. You have tail carve, and we also have a broken head, which is a chance for wound rewards and then general quest rewards regarding dynamos. I need a dynamo for a bow, actually. I'm planning on making the abyssal bow. I'll probably upgrade into it, otherwise you'll end up having to use 2 dynamos, to my understanding. If you just craft it outright, you'll need a dynamo to craft it, and then another one to upgrade it. Whereas if you upgrade into it, it'll ultimately only require a single dynamo. Dennis is going, oh my god. I don't know why. What is it about this situation that's worthy of OMG in all caps? Wii U Series X Pro XL has the better port. No, actually, I play the Wii U 1. The Wii U 1 is better because it's one console for all of your entertainment purposes. Or for all your entertainment needs, rather. And, yeah. It's not the first one, but it's the Wii U 1. Yeah, just blame Nintendo for everything. Honestly, they're easy to blame, aren't they? Probably because they don't give a shit. That's probably why. They don't give a shit. They don't seem to try. So they're a good punching bag. Well, that was Abyssal Laggy. Bit miserable. Not my favourite. I don't mind gunning Abyssal Laggy, but... And I would have done the same thing as this Huntering 999 guy would have gone. Illuminator. I can't believe he's got the same set as mine. It's not like it's a standard set. I just made it randomly. I just went through all the skills that I could make with my talismans, and I ended up with the exact same set he's using there. So either he copied my set years ago, or we just happened to arrive at the same set. You never know, he could have seen my set years ago, and has since just played a lot more than I have, because I stopped playing this game frequently ages ago. Dennis apparently carved 2 dynamos in a row. And I'm happy for him. I would like a dynamo, but I've got a lot of nether weapons fully upgraded, so I don't need them as much as he needs them. I suppose he hoarded them all, didn't he? But I'll tell you one thing. Getting 2 dynamos in a row is a big deal in this game because, as I've said before, really the only thunder weapons that you'd ever make in this game are Abyssal Laggy weapons, and if you can get dynamos, then he only needs 2 more, yeah, no problem. Only need 2 more, you'll be hunting a few more Abyssal for that. I don't have all the dynamos I need, and let's see how many I've fucking hunted. Probably a lot. I'm just gonna guess about 80. I think I've hunted about 80 Abyssal Laggy. Let's see. Possibly even more. 91. So yeah, almost 100. But I still don't have all the dynamos I need, so that should give you an idea of how hard it is to get dynamos. So yeah. You can't say after in 3 Ultimate, but I think you're able to say after in try in the North American servers, because I don't see a reason why you couldn't say after, because after means but in German. You can't say it here either, and I guess I could demonstrate it for fun. Well, no, I won't, but it's because then I'd have to explain myself to them. But yeah, you can't say it here either. And there are other words too, really dumb ones. Well, after is the worst one, because that's just a normal word in the English language, and you always say that. But unfortunately, basically everything that was censored in Try is also censored here, because it's almost the same online system, to be honest. Nothing? I don't know if nothing was censored. What does nothing mean in some stupid language? I've got no idea. But yeah, after is such a silly word to censor anyway, because it's such a childish word in German. Anyway, what should we do? Let's do Stygian Zinogre. Because I need Stygian Sky Emeralds. I acquired one before, but let me check what my other Stygian weapon's going to be. I'm having a hard time finding it. Oh, it's Gunlands. Stygian Zinogre Gunlands. Is this Protemus guy a meme? Let me show you something. All this guy seems to say is, hi. Like, we can have these full-blown conversations, we can hunt together forever, and all he does is say, hi. I mean, I can assume he doesn't speak English, but that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Anyway. Hi. It's hard not to be entertained by that. Okay, so what would I like to do? I would like to use ice. No, thunder again. Thunder and I want something that cuts tails. Okay, we'll do switch axe. Here we go, Nether Excellion. I don't know if it's Excellion or Excellion. I think it's Excellion. Excellion, yeah, there we go. Nether Excellion. Alright. So, where is it? It is soul something or other. Something to do with souls. Must be here. Souls of Darkness. Alrighty. This will probably be my last hunt, to be honest. Because I think I've had a pretty good run. I've almost been live for 4 hours. I was only going to go live for like 2.5 hours, but I can't help myself. When I'm sitting down playing this game, I have too much fun. So it ends up being a bit of a longer recording than I first expect. But, yeah. To be honest, I actually don't dislike the design of this switch axe too much. Honestly, I think it's the stats of this switch axe that I don't like. Who would have thought? Switch axe stats that I don't like. What a strange thought. Don't know where Dennis is. Ah. Certainly not overtuned in 3rd generation. Certainly not overtuned. Okay, no. Switch axe was fucking garbage in try, and then it became average after that. So, yeah. Alrighty. So I probably should have brought, oh that's right, that's what I do, isn't it? I usually use my Gold Raytheon set. Oh well. Have one, kill one. So if we can capture this one, then that would be lovely. Sorry, 89. He's using... No way. Is he using my set? No, he's using something slightly different. Look at him though. This guy steals all of my sets. I swear to God, this guy literally went and stole all of my sets. He's also using Azure Rathalos with Gold Sea Deus helmet. What the fuck? This guy is stealing all of my armor sets. It's shocking. I mean, I'm somewhat flattered that he's Hunter Rank 999 and he has all of my armor sets, but, you know. I'm not sure what to say. Feels like he went through all of my armor sets some time ago and just fucking stole them all. Bastard. He could, no, might have watched Doomlink's random hunts back in the day, I don't know. Well, there are only so many armor set slots that you can have. This is the thing. You pray for my sky rolls? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your prayers. I'm probably not going to get one this time because I don't have Gold Raytheon. Ooh. But yeah, it's a pretty big deal to be huntering 999 in this game. Some of them cheat to get to it, but I'd say the majority are legitimate huntering 999s, and you can generally tell by how they play, etc. Actually, no, we don't need to enlarge the map because I'm not checking. No, not a trank. Fucking stop that. This isn't first gen. I can't just trank a monster without them being in a trap. Okay. Let's heal on up. How am I going for? Oh, I must have terrible dragon resistance. Yeah, negative 31. Negative 31 dragon resistance. Whose idea was it to use the nether armor against this guy again? It wasn't my fucking idea. I guess it was. But, yeah, that was not a very smart idea at all. I've got null berries, but I really want to carve that tail because I'm worried about forgetting about it. Let's do it. Come on, baby. No, 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 no. Nobody hit me, please. No. Fortunately, I didn't have Dragon Blight applied to me. Yeah, come on. Deliver thine self to me. Excellent. The problem with a lot of the attacks of an enraged Stygian Zinogre is that they do apply Dragon Blight, so you end up running through so many null berries, it's honestly frustrating. This is a very good question, Shut-ins Dogs. How do I feel about try Dragon Blight versus modern Dragon Blight? The one that I think is worse in terms of the one that affects you the worst, I would definitely say the one that came after Try. You have to understand that there was only one game ever where Dragon Blight was different, and that was the game that first introduced Dragon Blight, which was indeed Try. In Try, I believe it was negative 30 affinity. Now, I don't know if that was actually... It could have been negative 20, but I think it was negative 30. Something about negative 30 is in my mind. I don't know if that reduced your affinity by negative 30, or no matter what, set your affinity to negative 30. I couldn't say for sure. But it was not something that affected your element, it was purely something that affected your affinity. And then after Try, in other words beginning with Portable Third, Dragon Blight actually stole your element. Now, for me, I think Try's use of Dragon Blight was better. Because taking away your element is too much. I think it ends up having Dragon Blight steal too much of your damage. I think so many weapons are heavily dependent upon element to deal good damage that Dragon Blight just becomes a little bit too much. Mainly in comparison to other Blights in the game. I think Dragon Blight ends up being too extreme. It's only a Blight, you know. To take away your element is just going too far. I'm used to it, I don't hate it. But I do prefer the way Try did it. So let's try to capture this one. I will let them know, just to remind them. It's negative 50% in Try. Wow. Well, I didn't know it was negative 50. I had 30 in my head. Now, does it set your affinity to negative 50 regardless? Or is it actually subtracting whatever affinity you have by 50%? That's what I'd like to know. Because that I don't remember. I probably would have used things like Barioth weapons and I would have been able to check back then, but I don't remember coming to any determination about that. Uh-oh. Getting caught in attacks here. I'm not going to heal. I needn't to do that. No, 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 no. Looking out for this dragon effect here. The less mulberries I use, the happier I'm going to be, because it only takes me out of the hunt and affects my DPS negatively. So. Oh, what you have is decreased by 50. Yeah, well, I assumed that that's what it would be. And, in my opinion, that's a bit more sensible, no matter what. I think taking your element away is just too much. Maybe they decided that taking the element away was better. In other words, it was better for the hunter, but I don't think so, personally. Maybe they know more about it than I do. It's possible. Maybe mathematically speaking. I'm sorry, Dennis. Anyway. They might know more about it than I do. Maybe in the end, across the board, having negative 50% affinity is considerably worse than having your element taken away, but I feel like having your element taken away is worse. It is the Lance life, isn't it? As soon as you equip Lance, it's like your public enemy #1. Everyone just beats the shit out of you. And you just can't get a hit in. Let's aim for that head, come on. Sorry, Dennis. I feel bad for Dennis. Come on, man. Stop putting yourself exactly where I want to attack. And I won't hit you so much. Because I'm someone who's aware of that. Imagine someone who's not aware of messing up their teammates. I'm almost tempted to put a trap at the exit to this area. But maybe not even. Maybe I should trap him prior to the limp threshold. Because quite frankly, not trapping this monster, or rather not capturing this monster, would almost be a waste. Because I don't think I'm going to get a Sky Emerald unless I capture this guy. Oh, come on, can I dive it? Yes, I can. Just in time. I'm going to trap him here. You guys need to keep attacking. Because I'm just being careful. No need to sheath, Dennis. This is assuming... Oh, shit. The first one did make contact. Very good. This is why we keep attacking. This is why I wanted them to keep attacking. I didn't want them to sheathe their weapons, because provided 2 tranks have been thrown, the health threshold for capture can lower while in the trap, and auto-capture. So, it's important when we're not sure if it's capturable, we all just keep attacking to make sure it reaches that capturable threshold while in the trap. So that was good. That turned out well. I wasn't available to trip Dennis, so he just put his weapon away. He's like, what's the point of hunting if he doesn't trip me? I'll just wait. Yeah, exactly. Well, that worked out very nicely. I'm happy with that. I'm quite sure that I carved the tail. I hope I did. I don't have a specific memory of having done that, but I'm quite sure that I did. Because I don't think I would have walked past that. I don't think I would have. Nope, didn't get one this time, sadly, but you know what? I'm not too surprised, because I did not have a Great Luck skill in effect. Which does make things a little harder. Oh, I got rid of large wyvern tier to make room? Good to know. I do remember removing my large wyvern tier. Just didn't remember that I'd carved the tail in the process of doing that. That's a good way to confirm it in my own mind, anyway. Alright. So I'm going to make sure that I have sold all of this, because if I leave it for later I will forget. And then I will have spaces taken up in my box that don't need to be taken up. Let's fix our inventory. And with that, I conclude this live stream. I do thank you all for joining me again. For many of you it is your second time joining me, and I do hope to see you again in the future. I had a lot of fun, and I'm recording a lot of 3 Ultimate. I will, at the earliest possible convenience, stream some Freedom Unite or Portable Third, or maybe even Moss Hunter Freedom 1. Just expect a lot of old Monster Hunter. That's all I can say. But, yeah, I do thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.